This is all we need.
Yeah, where's Curtis? He said he'd be here. How's it going, everybody? This is the Uncanny Omar.
Not even doing the
Mike.
We're doing live.
I'm not even doing an intro because people like Ryan Wilson
It's a hot Mike.
caught Jess with his pants down. How is everybody doing? Hope everybody is here, ready for a good time, ready to learn about some Marvel collected editions. We're going to be looking at the solicits for March. And a big thank you to David Gabriel and everyone at Marvel for sending us advance notice of all these books. Some of these, I think all of them have already been announced, but here they officially are with the content, the covers, and then, of course, the prices. And yeah, we are waiting for a couple more of our panelists. I don't know where they are. That's really weird. Man, let me see if I got any messages. Like, whoops, I sent the email to the wrong person. That's on me. That's on me. Because I thought it was Hunter emailing me, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, he's already here, so that must mean whoops." That's on me. That's on me.
The best opening ever for your show.
So, oh yeah, before I get started, on the right-hand side is my first co-host. Who are you, sir?
I am Omnidog from Omnidog's Vault on YouTube and other social media sites. I appreciate being on and to talk with my friends about Marvel previews.
Excellent, excellent. And right underneath us is none other than Peter, who refuses to send me a end of the year video because he's too good. I quote unquote, I'm not doing that. That's just not my style. And better than that. How's it going?
You did. It was right before we went live.
Yeah, right before we went live, we're having a discussion. All right, who are you, Peter? What are you doing?
I am known throughout the internet, or at least the comic reading internet, as Crisis, spelt with a K. My home on the internet is crushingcrisis.com, which has guides to the vast majority of Marvel characters. Guess what? I'm done updating them all through 2024. So they have, never again to be updated. No, they have character appearances, series, and collections all the way through the end of this year. I'm very happy there's over 150 of them. It took months, which means now I get to do fun new stuff. But before that, I'm here to talk about new Marvel solicits with my friends, and this is kind of a big one. There's a couple of surprising books in this one. There's a lot of trades. I feel like the last couple of months have been a little bit thinner, and this month is hefty.
Yeah, usually the February, I think it's like February and November. I can't remember. One of the months like early in the year and 1 month towards the end of the year is always a little lighter. And then we get to the heftier side of things, which is where we are now. So yes, we do have some of the books, especially that I just announced this morning. One of them are going to be here, especially for the people that have been asking the question about prices and about the size of the book. And I am talking about the oversized hardcover that I got to announce this morning. So it is an oversized hardcover. And
before we go that right in under the wire, man, I was like, wow, there's some stuff in this catalog I've never heard of before. And then
it had to be approved. It had to, you know how this rolls. All right. And here's our other panelist, Johnny.
There he is, Johnny Boy.
Johnny Boy.
I know. Omar has me as that in his phone. I have to live up to it, the Johnny Boy thing. So
Johnny Boy, that's how I have you saved on the phone, man. I love it.
I got to bring it back, man. That's like high school me.
Johnny Dying Breed Collectors. He owns his own.
I didn't know we were live. I thought we were still backstage. That's so funny.
I'm not backstage.
Good thing I didn't say what I really wanted to.
Curtis is stealing Mr. Texas Omni money. Well, Curtis ain't here right now, so what Curtis won't hurt him.
What have I done to hurt you like that, Mr. Tex? Curtis doesn't even collect Omnis. Oh, through Epics, he steals your Omni money. Okay, got it.
I get it.
Okay.
I take it all back.
I can't handle so many handsome people in one stream. Wow, the compliments, the compliments. Thank you so much for that.
You're killing me.
So let's go ahead and get started. We got a lot to talk about, and I know we got some things we're gonna stop and talk about in detail. So let me go ahead and share the presentation. Share my screen, and yeah, before we do, Johnny, where can people find you? What's your shop, buddy?
Dying Breed Collectors. You got the website. You can find me on eBay. You can do at Dying Breed Collectors on Instagram. I think I have a Facebook page, but I don't really use it. But the Instagram is the spot. And then conventions. You know that. I love doing the conventions. So
yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to be at C2E2, right?
With like one of the biggest booths on the floor. That's a fact. Yeah, it's going to be wild, man. Even bigger than last year. So,
Should I come to Chicago, Johnny?
I would love to have you here, man. There's a lot of pizza that you need to try that I need to take you out for. I mean, yeah, we would have a blast, dude. Omnidog and I hung out in Baltimore, and I really wish we had more time together.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
It was so much fun.
We had a lot of fun.
I think I already told Lars this year I'm coming, and I think Amanda's going to go with me this year to do a panel with
C2E2
and Oddfeld.
Nice.
Yeah.
And if I go, am I on that panel or am I?
You need to do a lot of research before you get into the panel. Like you need to do a lot of not quite reading, but watching a lot of near mint condition videos. I think that would help.
Okay, I'd rather kill myself.
Wow, that was extreme. God,
I know, it was the only thing I could think of. Sorry.
We were having such a happy conversation.
Well, then you threw the near mint thing at me.
There's your boy, Peter.
I love you, Warren.
Already starting out
let
with
it be known.
Omar,
Now,
new
before we
warrior.
got on air, I was talking, and they can all verify about how much I love Warren.
I was like, that's impossible. I think Warren is actually Peter's other account that he created while he was on a break from the internet, and he just never let it go.
I think Warren might have the closest taste to me out of everybody who comments on this channel, actually. And when you make fun of him, it hurts me, Omar.
I make fun of Warren a lot, but I always do it to Warren's face. I never do it to his back.
No,
never do it behind his
back. I only say nice things behind his back.
I do.
Same as Lars.
I like people with a big difference of opinion, and they don't come any bigger than Warren. Oh my gosh, his difference in opinion is just, it hurts sometimes to even read out loud. Instant buy, Omar. Don't listen to, no one listens to Warren, not even his family. Thank you, Larry. Okay, New Warriors, Nova Night Thrasher Omnibus. So this is collecting the Night Thrasher 2 through 10, 13 through 21, Nova 1 through 5, and 8 through 16, Fantastic Four 356, Amazing Spider-Man 351 to 358. Is this the fourth omnibus that storyline round robin's going to be collected in? I think it is. Dark. I really hope. I'm going to email them. Can we please have the fold out cover to the final part from Amazing Spider-Man? What's it? 358. That way, this omnibus can stand out above the rest, as it will anyway. Darkhawk 28 and 29, Iron Man 303, Spider-Man Friends and Enemies 1 through 4, Ultra Girl 1 through 3. And then material from Night Thrasher 1, Darkhawk 26 through 27, Web of Spider-Man 109. I'm sure the question I'm going to be asked, where is Night Thrasher 11 and 12? Where is Nova 6 and 7? This is really strange that they're doing this because this one really rides heavy on the fact that you've already gotten New Warriors Omnibus 1, 2, and 3. It is really a companion omnibus because that storyline is the Time and Time Again story. And those parts are part of that big crossover. So that's why they're not collected in here. I can't think outside of like the Jim Lee Omnis where else they've done that, where they've mapped thinking that, well, people are definitely going to buy that. And even the Jim Lee's Omnis isn't really that true because that relied on the fact that there was a Extinction Agenda OHC. Mm-hmm. And they were just like, we're not going to put it in the Jim Lee, Chris Claremont omnibus because it's just too much of a crossover. So I can't think of another place that they've done that. No slapstick. Someone else asked me about slapstick. You know who that was? It was my brother because no one cares about slapstick except for my brother. Now there's two people, Derek. That's really cool. I will ask about the slapstick for real. Should I get this New Warriors Nova and Night Thrasher Omni or Cosmic X-Men?
Said no one ever.
No one ever.
How dare you? You know, when this stuff sells out like 5 years from now, and I'm being asked, Omar, when is Marvel going to reprint Nova and Night Thrasher? It better not be Bernie Lockhart asking me when they're going to reprint it. But yeah, it's avoiding the double dip, although it is including the double dip with Spider-Man, which again I think is going to be. It's in the Moon Knight omnibus. It's in the Spider-Man omnibus. In the Mark Bagley omnibus. I thought it was in another omnibus too. So that might be 4 years or four books. This crossover has been printed in.
I know it's not an Omni, but it's in an Epic collection. I mean, it has an Epic collection named after it. So
Round Robin?
Yeah, the Spider-Man one.
And also, I think that thinking about what's in and what's out, even though they both Nova and Night Thrasher have individual issues in that big crossovers at time and time again, it's like it's not primarily a Nova Night Thrasher story, whereas they're actually pretty prominent in that Spider-Man story. So it's like that almost makes more sense. Also, if you look at the page count, this is a big one. It's over 1,300 pages. So if they tried to include that entire New Warriors crossover again, it would have gotten to be pretty unwieldy. I'm happy that we got the Ultra Girl issues in here rather than like a bunch of New Warriors stuff that's double dipped.
That's something that has never been collected too.
Yeah, and never in any form.
And Ultra Girl is a character that was a part of the New Warriors, but not during this era. Ultra Girl was a part of the New Warriors in Volume 2.
Yeah, the 1999 relaunch.
Yeah. So I find that interesting that they're putting it in here. I really hope. Yeah, I'll actually ask about Slapstick. That's a good idea. I wasn't kidding. My brother immediately asked, "Is Slapstick in there?" I was like, "No." But Slapstick didn't join officially the New Warriors until much later. It wasn't until like the Avengers Academy era. What's on Nova's head? Is it a trash can? Because that would make sense for this. Wow, Warren. Somebody got a joke book
going hard.
Like joke book for your birthday, and you're using it on poor freaking New Warriors Omnibus.
Have we really spent 10 minutes on this Omnibus?
Yes, Jess, it's the freaking New Warriors. Respect.
We'll get ready to spend even more time on this.
Here we go.
Now, this is something I'm interested in. When's this coming out?
Oh gosh, here we go with Peter and what he wants to add and how it's going to be mapped, and there's so much to talk about. All right, so I did get to announce this one. This was the very first announcement. This was the very, usually when I film videos, like David and I get to like, okay, let's we'll do this one first, and usually I ask him, is it cool to do it in this, like this? I don't want to ever start off with like a huge banger, but also I thought this was a really good way to start. Like, it's the ending of an era. It's an era that a lot of people have asked about, like when we're getting Omnis. I remember doing the panel at C2E2, and that was the number one question. It's like, when are we getting Krakoa era Omnis? And well, we're getting the tail end of one, which kind of makes sense, right? Because for a while they've been doing this thing where we are getting the latest crossover events, and that's what this is. So Fall of X and Rise of Powers of X coming out in omnibus format. There was a trade paperback. There was no OHC. This collects the Fall of the House of X 1 through 5, Rise of the Powers of X 1 through 5, X-Men 30 to 34, Resurrection of Magneto 1 through 4, Dead X-Men 1 through 4, X-Men Forever 1 through 4, Invincible Iron Man 13 through 20. I'm glad that's added in here. Avengers 12 and 13, Miss Marvel Mutant Menace 1 through 4, Cable 1 through 4, and material from X-Men 35. 1,248 pages, $125. Okay. Really hope this Laraz cover, they make it into like the whole dust jacket.
Is that a Nakayama cover?
Yeah, and that is a take on the not Russell Dodderman, Mark Brooks cover of the original. Remember the tease for House of X? Yeah, I love that. That's a cool cover.
That's the one I'll get. I love that guy as well.
This is the Mark Brooks cover, and I like that cover and this one here. Okay, so I think the most crucial part about this is how they're going to map it, because I read these in trade. I know, the trade reading Well, I was going to say, like, reading this in single issues, this was the one time I was really jealous of single issue readers, because when you read them in trades, I don't want to spoil what's going on through here either. So I'm going to try to word this carefully. When you read them in trades, there are things that are happening in the Fall of House of X that are affecting the other series. But then when you're reading things like Invincible Iron Man, or for that matter, Resurrection of Magneto, something already has happened in one of the issues of Rise, and you're like, wait, what? I already read that, didn't I? And then something was spoiled for me because of that. So I think, yeah, the reading order is going to be very important for this one to get like the best out of it, because it's the storyline itself can be a little confusing, but I think reading order can help it a lot. People have asked about the wedding issue, if I could ask if that can be added, and there was something else that they wanted, like maybe the apocalypse. And honestly, I thought about apocalypse because I thought that might be the only place that it would ever go in an oversized format. I don't know how well
the thing, and it's I think it kind of subtracts from the impact of X-Men 35, which is the final issue of this era and which Apocalypse plays a part in. And it seems like something really thrilling is going to happen, and then it's not as thrilling as you want it to be in that era of Apocalypse series. But it does act as an epilogue to this, and it does transform one pretty major Krakoan character into something that they will be in the future.
Oh yeah,
I think the chances of it being collected at the beginning of the From the Ashes omnibus are like 0. So it really feels like this is the one chance to get it, but it's not great, and it doesn't really go with this material. In terms of missing things, that wedding special issue is written by Kieran Gillen, and it was kind of Kieran Gillen's end cap on his Krakoa writing. And since Gillen is half of this book, it does kind of make a lot of sense that the wedding issue would be in here, even though, again, I get why it's not mapped in here, because it feels very separate from all the fall and rising that's happened, but he wrote it to be there. And then the other thing that I think is more critically missing is the issues of the X-Men Unlimited Infinity comic that ran during this period. It was really tightly tied into this. And at one point, a character pops up at the end of this with a pretty big plot MacGuffin. And they're like, oh, we're so happy you did so well in your mission, which was in the Infinity comic. Each issue of the Infinity comic is only about a quarter of a regular issue. So they could add, like 20 of those, and it would be only like adding 5 issues to this page count. But we have to be mindful, it's big. It's 1,248 pages already.
I don't want to add, I don't want to ask for too much, because as you know, they'll end up breaking it up into 2 books, or
and we don't want that. This absolutely should be 1 book. I'm just saying there's nothing else other than those 3 things that could go in here, because they even caught those Avengers issues and Miss Marvel Mutant Menace, which honestly did not tie in really with the rise and fall aspect of this at all. But it did happen in this period. It does. She is interspersed in the other books, as she's also in her own book, and Cable too, which was not really tied into this tightly. Old Marvel, who were forgetful and left things out, I would have absolutely expected them to skip Avengers, Miss Marvel, and Cable. So I think it is extremely comprehensive. If you're asking about X-Force and Wolverine, they end before this starts in story continuity, even though they ran alongside it all the way until April. First, X-Force ends with the final arc where they fight against Beast. Then the Wolverine Sabretooth War happens. Then this starts. So they did not interact with this at all. There's no reason for them to be a part of this.
Okay, so the Infinity Comics and the wedding, I think, and I can always ask for Apocalypse, because somebody brought up the fact that, to be fair, Cable and Miss Marvel really also had very little to do with the fall era. And I can see that, because especially with Cable, right? Like Cable just happened to be part of it. Johnny, were you going to say something?
Yeah, it's just a curiosity question. Okay, if they were able to add the stuff that you guys want added, like the Infinity issues, the Air, the Apocalypse, and keep it 1 book, but then they bump the price from 125 to 150, are you still like, yeah, we need those? Just curious.
Oh God, yeah. I can't even believe it's 125 for what it is. It should be 150.
I actually thought just with the 12
just Marvel. Take it.
X-Men Unlimited with the X-Men Green was so good. Yes,
that was earlier.
I agree. Yeah. So I think this is one that definitely I'll be happy to message them to make sure that people would love it in a good reading order. And I think Marvel themselves, don't they usually release a reading order digitally, like online, like let you know, hey, this is, because they did the same thing with like Spider-Verse, didn't they?
Oh, maybe because they screwed it up so bad.
Because I remember like there was a Spider-Verse on a Marvel website, and I thought, why didn't you just release it like that. All right.
Well, Marvel Unlimited has, when there's like a big storyline, it tends to have it linked in reading order, so they are aware. And of course, Jordan D. White has said on many occasions, he was the editor of X-Men in this period, that he's got a PDF of every single issue that he edited in all of Krakoa in the order that they're meant to be experienced in. And I'm like, release it, baby. Like, drop it. I do want to make one comment. There's a lot of people in the chat and a lot of people across the internet ever since you released the video the other day asking, why are we starting with the ending? Like, and if we're starting with the ending, why aren't we at least starting from the 2023 Hellfire Gala, which is when this all really kicked off with the first part of Fallbacks? I would say that, A, there's a lot of interest in seeing this all interwoven together, which it wasn't in trades. I think, B, this really was a multi-book event, and Marvel has shown in recent years that they really like to come out with omnibuses of multi-book events pretty soon after they happen. But C, if you've been reading From the Ashes, there are some elements of From the Ashes that are very referential to how Krakoa ended and why it ended. And so I think that there's a lot of people who've come into From the Ashes who are like, wait, so what happened at the end of all that Krakoa stuff? I hadn't read it since Hickman. And like, that's what this is. It's the big chunk of end. Not as much stuff really happens immediately after the Hellfire Gala. It's all kind of table setting. I want that in Omnibus too. But I do kind of think it makes sense to start with this. There's appetite for it, and it fulfills all three of those things. So I promised I'd have a lot to say, and I think that is a lot. But yeah, you really do need all of these series up until Miss Marvel Mutant Menace to understand what is happening at all. You need Invincible Iron Man. You need Resurrection of Magneto. They're all pretty essential to the story.
As someone who hasn't read any of the Krakoa era, do you think they will ever release a comprehensive Omni series of this era? I mean, I know they will. I'm not saying I think they will. I know they will. I just don't know when. I don't know if they're going to wait for nostalgia to kick in, like 5 years, 6 years from now, for people to be like, oh, I really like that era. I would love for Marvel to go back and collect. Because we're not talking about a 4-volume Omni for Krakoa. I think off the top of my head, because I know Peter and I have joked about doing a Matt My X and just for Krakoa. I mean, I was looking, because this is the kind of stuff I think about all the time, at about like 11 to 12 Omnis. I don't know how many Peter in his head, or even if he's thought about it, but it's a lot.
I think I have 11.
Okay. It's a lot of Omnis. We're not talking, like I said, 5 Omnis. We are talking like 11 Omnis. Like, it's huge. Zara's huge.
I got another thought.
One day. What's that?
I got another thought about this. I know this isn't something Marvel probably thought of, or maybe they did, but correct me if I'm wrong. Everything prior to this has been released in OHC, just not Omnibus. Or no, not okay. What I was going to get at was, I think it's good that they are starting with something that has not been released in OHC already, because if they let off with the X-Men titles that are in OHC, I know people who want those, but there's going to be a faction of people that are like, oh, I already own that. I already have an OHC. Why are you making me rebuy something? This is something that's new in this format to everybody. So I think that is a benefit. I mean, I guess I don't think that's what they thought of, but what do you think of
that? I don't know. I think they may want to focus on whatever the new era is and then go back to older series. I think that might be the mentality of Krakoa in oversized hardcover format. Krakoa ended because it wasn't good in sales. Shut up, Brian. Although there is truth about sales, but I mean, that goes for anything, right? Like New 52 or anything that was an event for like longer than a year. Sales do drop eventually.
Yeah, hardly anything holds up sales-wise through the 5th year. And, you know, even when they launched Red and Immortal, people at shops are saying like, oh, people really aren't buying them. I'm like, they're the best X-Men books that we've had for like over a decade, maybe decades. And people weren't buying them. Like, you know, there's only so much attention in the attention economy.
I think we'll get a Gambit Omnibus sometime later in 2025. I haven't seen a Gambit Omnibus. He's
about to make a name for himself.
If we already got a Channing Tatum movie, maybe that would make it go. Slipcase and Fox Pets.
Yeah, it's a cool idea.
I've seen a lot of people suggest that too. Shut up, Bernie. I saw that. Wolverine Goes to Hell on the bit. This is the new printing. This is collecting the Astonishing Spider-Man and Wolverine 1 through 6, Wolverine 1 through 20, 5.1, 300 and 304, and X-Men Schism, and the material from Wolverine: The Road to Hell. I'm surprised they didn't, and it makes sense, they did not rebrand this one as Wolverine by Jason Aaron Volume 2.
Volume 2.
Right? Because the reprint of Jason Aaron's Wolverine is Volume 1, and it always was. But I'm surprised they didn't take the time to do this one as a Volume 2. I don't know, and it might have a Volume 2 on it. I know from here it's actually called Wolverine Goes to Hell, as it always was.
I mean, I'm a Wolverine Goes to Hell truther, and that it shouldn't be Volume 2 because I don't really think you have to read his Volume 1 to enjoy this. His Volume 1, I actually don't rate that material very highly. I think this is the good part of the Jason Aaron run. So I think the first one should have just been called Wolverine Weapon X by Jason Aaron, and this one should just be called Wolverine Goes to Hell. But yeah, if you have any fear of like, oh, I don't have the number 1, like you can just pick this up. This is actually a very contained story. It's quite tragic. It's really one of the darkest bits of Wolverine, but then it's got some funny stuff too because Jason Aaron likes writing funny Wolverine. Astonishing Spider-Man and Wolverine is very, very funny. Yeah.
Although
also note that this is not all of the end of the Wolverine 2010 series. It goes on for like another 10-ish issues after Aaron gets off it. Colin Bunn writes some of it. That's never been an omnibus.
No, it's only been in trade. And then because Jason Aaron jumps to go to the
Wolverine
and the X-Men book, which is really his Volume 3, and it's quite excellent. Sup, y'all? MCU Secret Wars related thing I bought or thought of, but Feige probably won't go this route. Reverse branch timelines converge back into the main timeline with one singular future. I don't know, baby. I have no idea what Feige's got planned after that Fantastic Four, honestly. Thank you so much for that super chat. Any news on Kelly Thompson's Captain Marvel Omnibus Volume 2? Not in August or September, but I will remind them of that. Did I miss the absolute Superman talk? You may have. I haven't read it yet. Peter, have you read it?
No, I haven't read that absolute yet. I was busy updating stuff. I haven't read anything for weeks. Max has been mocking me.
Dude, that came into you into a dream. You need to get a hold of Feige if you're dreaming that kind of stuff. I normally agree with Omar, but Wolverine and the X-Men is basura.
Ooh, tiger eyes.
Yeah. Jess, is
basura, I mean crap.
Spanish speaker. What is basura?
Crapola.
No, that is the island where the X-Men lived. All right. Next Factor by Peter David. Volume 1, back in print, collecting X Factor 55 and 70 through 92, Annual 7 and 8, Incredible Hulk 390 to 392, X Factor 5 and 6, and New Mutants Annual 6. I am surprised this one's coming back to print. Considering we have a classic X Factor, I just thought they would just wait it out, right? Like this would be eventually a Volume 3, right? What's
ish?
No, this would be this would be Volume 3. Yeah. But yeah, people really like Peter David, so good for him. Good for Peter too.
Can I point something out about this with that a lot of people might not know? So with the first printing, for whatever reason, this book and Amazing Spider-Man 3, when they came out, I think they might have been printed with a different paper because I remember having like massive quantities of those two books, this one included, and the pages yellowed even when they were still in the plastic faster than any of the other books I had. It was noticeable. So I would bet if everybody who has this book went and pulled it out on their shelf, I bet the pages are slightly more yellow than your other Omnis. So I'm excited to get a new printing that might have like better paper, but it was really noticeable with like all of them.
Really? What was the other one?
Amazing Spider-Man 3, and they all also had like a weird wave in like the first like front of the book because when I saw a couple of them, I was like, oh, that's weird, and then I kind of noticed it was every one of them. It was those two books. So weird.
I haven't.
It is kind of yellow.
Okay, I see the waviness. I see what you mean.
Yeah,
I don't see the yellowing though.
You don't have the yellowing on yours?
Compare it with another book. It is a little bit yellow.
Because I had them. I was moving my books, and so I had them all on the floor.
Oh wait, let me compare it to like volume 2.
Yeah, like look at the top of it, and it's like a different shade. It's
oh
weird.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So I don't know what was up with that, but it was those 2 books in particular.
Really, that's weird.
Yeah,
I see it now. Good eye, Johnny.
Yeah. I went to
Johnny
prove
would
you
be
wrong,
investigative
and
journalism
backfired on me.
We are getting a volume 4 though of that. Let me get the super chat. Now would have been a perfect time to reprint Scotty Young's Oz Omni. I do wonder about that. Thank you for the super chat, Red Ghost 312. I do wonder if they can. I assume they can, right? Because Oz is like a public domain, and can't they just reprint it? I don't know. One of my most anticipated Omnis ever. Spectacular
number
Spider-Man
1
5.
or number 2 on the Omnibus poll, the Tiger Eyes poll last year.
Every year, Tiger Eyes is here. He can tell you. Mr. Tex was not a fan of Stroman's art. Did you see the way he drew those booties, though? Did you see that? I don't know if you saw that or not. Just saying. Okay. Yeah, spectacular. Oh my gosh, absolutely. DeMatteis' run, and that's how they're starting it off. We don't have a volume 2 of Spectacular yet, but we do have Spectacular Spider-Man 178 to 216, annual 12 and 14, Amazing Spider-Man Soul of the Hunter for the first time.
Oh, nice.
In omnibus format, 1,208 pages, $125. Everything that people asked for to add to this, they gave me reasons why. No, right? Like they were really cool about it. They were like, well, no, because this is more of an Amazing Spider-Man story. There was one they thought it was the Kurt Busiek story. I really liked it. It's the Green Goblin story. Legacy, the Goblin Legacy, I think is what it was. The one shot with Tex drawing it. That one, still no. Thank you for the super chat. I'm starting the Mutant Massacre today after following the Crushing Crisis reading order. It's a godsend when I started my X-Men journey this year. And Peter, thank you for that. Thank you. Good luck with your Mutant Massacre. It's amazing. Craving some Craven this month. No silhouetted animator. No one wants to see Craven. Well, no, that's not true. I'm sure a lot of people want to see Craven.
Yeah, where's our Craven Omnibus, Marvel?
Really? Like a Craven. Although I think I'm the only person that liked Get Craven. I think I'm the only person that liked that book.
I just read that for the first time this week, and it's something. It is something.
It was what's his name, right? The guy that was on Howard Stern. Funny dude. He passed away a couple of years ago. Oh my gosh. He wrote a couple of Tangled Web. He did the not Kid Cold, but the Rawhide Kid. Oh, what was come on, Peter.
I truly don't know who you're talking about. I can look it up.
Forget it.
The chat must know. The chat knows.
Zimmerman, Ron Zimmerman. Thank you so much. Derek Tyler. Yeah. Thank you, Ron. Thank you. Hey, Morbius got one. Yeah, but Morbius actually had an ongoing series. Don't underestimate the book's energy. Okay, moving on to the Masterworks, although we're not done with Omnis yet. Marvel Masterworks Captain America Volume 17. We are looking at another J.M. DeMatteis era with Christopher Priest and Peter Gillis, Mike Zeck, and Mark Bright. Captain America 281 to 289, Annual 7, and Falcon 1 through 4. What's up, brother?
I think you'll dig this. I recently I told this to Crisis. I mapped Omnis for the first time in my life, and my number one most wanted is a J.M. DeMatteis Captain America one. That is absolutely my number one most wanted omnibus, and I mapped it out. So,
oh yeah, how many pages did you map it out to?
Oh, see, that's the part I actually wanted to ask you guys. But I don't know how you do the page counts, because how do you factor in the bonus material? You don't know what they're going to use.
We BS it. We BS.
Okay.
Oh, dude, that's got some great artwork by Zach too, man. That's a great run.
Well, and mine would be a Mike Zeck and J.M. DeMatteis, so you can include the stuff that J.M. DeMatteis didn't write, but Zeck drew. So interesting.
Just tuned out when Ron was on Howard Stern. Jess a big Howard Stern fan, right? Or
yeah, I haven't listened for the past couple of years though. So if he was on recently, then I wouldn't have heard it.
Oh no, this was 20 years ago when he was on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Zimmerman was on like 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
He came over to Marvel around 2002, started writing some things like 2001, 2002. Marvel Masterworks Incredible Hulk Volume 19, more of the Bill Mantlo and Sal Buscema goodness. 280 to 291, Annual 12, and Incredible Hulk versus Quasimodo.
I've literally never heard of that before.
Which one? The
Incredible Hulk versus Quasimodo, #1. It is rare
it's the Marvel
that a classic collection has a comic book issue I've never heard of, but that is one of them.
But it's the Marvel Quasimodo, right? Like the robotic dude, not the Hunchback of Notre Dame or Dame.
Yes, it is not a Disney Hunchback of Notre Dame crossover.
So I wasn't even thinking of
20 years after this.
I was thinking of the book. Okay. X Factor by Peter David, Omnibus Volume 4, wrapping up the series. Collecting X Factor 233 to 262, all new X Factor 1 through 20, and X-Men Legends 5 through 6. I am so glad they're doing this. Like, whoo, I was sweating when I was like, oh man, Volume 3's been out for a while. We need that all new X Factor. Where is it? So here we go. 1,152 pages, $125. I love this era. And no one said epic. Why are you here? Wow.
Wow. Okay, fine. I'm out of here. Goodbye.
Not at the epics yet, Curtis. Wait your turn. No, it's my buddy Curtis. Welcome, dude. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. I was just in a meeting, so I had to show up late, but I'm here now. And awesome. James is already on those links. Amazing.
James knew, like he could smell you were coming in. He didn't even see you pop up. He just knew you were going to be there. Curtis and I will be announcing the new epics for August and September of 2025. When did we decide to do that? You remember?
Thursday the 12th.
Yes, at 11:30, right? 11:30 a.m. Eastern time.
That's right. Okay, 11:30 in the morning.
Awesome. So that's when we're going to be doing that. So join us for that, please. Hopefully we'll get all the covers that we need. I think we got all the content. We just need some of the covers. Docs, thank you for the super chat. Silhouetted Animator, Doc Savage issue with the Thing got yoinked from the new 2-in-1 reprint. That license from the estate must be hard to get. Yeah, that stinks. That stinks. Hey, somebody, Mr. Tex, I think, was blaming you for taking all his Omni money. There he is, Curtis, who got me to buy 2 epics last week somehow.
Yeah, that's how it works. Arm? You know, once you get one, you just can't stop.
Which 2 did he get?
That's the question, right? Oh, Bar's here. This isn't a DC stream. When are we going to get X-Force with Laura in an Omni? I think it's like the only major Laura series from around that time that is not collected in an Omni. Give it to me. Wow, you're so demanding.
Well, we could also have Academy X in an omnibus, which is another Lara series that has never been oversized.
Oh, but Barb wouldn't know that. She don't read the books. Okay. Oh my gosh, dude, I would love that. But you know, I'd like to have the new X-Men in there I'd like New Mutants, new X-Men, and then Academy X. Yeah, I would love all that series collected. And she was also in
X-Force book. That Kyle and Yost X-Force book, it's one of the like major cards they've kind of been holding back for years now. They know it would sell. It's got great creators on it, great characters in it. It's got a very sellable cover and summary. I feel like they're just like saving it for a rainy day. I don't know. It seems like a gimme to me.
I feel like we argued over how that should be mapped. Maybe that's what's going on.
Yeah, but we know it's going to go in it. It's obvious what's going to go in the X-Force book.
But I think, I don't know. Maybe we were on the same side of things, or maybe it was you and Riley that were on the same side about whether Cable should have been worked in there or not.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get a Runaways epics in those announcements. Can't remember if the new announcements have anything new or not. I don't think they do.
No new lines for these. There's only 2 months that we're going to talk about, I think.
Yes.
August and September. And yeah, nothing new.
Look at Warren. Don't call Jess that. He's trying his hardest.
Sorry, it's not me this time, Grandpa.
Omar, is there an actual reason to hold out for Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 5, or should I just buy Death of? Oh my goodness.
Spoilers.
Shut up, Jess. It's in the title. It doesn't matter. Look, you don't want to know what I would do, because what I do is stupid. I would buy Death of, and then when Volume 5 gets announced, I'd get that too, just because I'm an idiot. I mean, if it was X-Men, right? Like, I would do that. If it was X-Men, oh my gosh, forget it. When people ask me, like, what am I gonna do with, like, Uncanny 5 and the Mutant Massacre Prelude? Dude, I'm an idiot. Of course I'm gonna get both.
Omar, do you keep the OHCs? Like, did you keep Extinction Agenda and Days of Future Present, or what do you do with that?
No, I actually gave those to a good friend of mine who loves X-Men. He's been getting the epics, but I wanted him to, introduce him to something a little bit bigger and better.
A real book.
Right, like a real man's book, right?
Yeah,
like,
I get you.
Nothing flimsy that would fall apart when you look at it. But yeah, something hard and big.
You guys are just showing your insecurities.
There he is.
Also, hi, Curtis. Nice to see you.
If we're making requests, where's Thunderbolts 4? That's another one that's most wanted too, huh? Wow, Bernie saying we should all buy McKay's Black Cat.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
All right, speaking of Jed McKay, though, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Blood Hunt, Red Band Edition.
Wait a minute.
160 pages, $34.99, and if you look at the trim size, it is an oversized hardcover. Because it is 7 1/4 by 10 by 10 7/8, and I want to say the trim size of a trade is 6 1/4. Can't remember, but anyway, it is coming out in a red band version. Now I'm sure there's lots of questions. I haven't had a chance to look at the comments in the video that went out this morning, but I'm sure the question was like, is this going to be an OHC? I just assume people knew, so I don't think I ever answered that in the video. But yes, it does. Jesse doesn't watch Omar's videos. No, he does not. And I love the fact you called him Jesse. Please never stop.
It's not my name. And what the hell? I thought these red band books were never going to be collected.
Who said that?
Well, it feels a little bait and switchy.
Did you say Dom? Did you say Dom?
Yeah.
You're work for Marvel?
He works for you.
Why? I don't work for Marvel. I wouldn't know that. I will say I did hear a lot of people say that they thought it was only going to be available in single issues.
Yeah, that was the big. That's what everybody. There's Dom right there at 321.
Dan Buckley. Okay, so Dan said that.
He's passing the buckle. You see that?
Oh, nice one.
That was good.
Thanks, guys. I'm an Omni lover in my channel. Love to introduce new readers to this format. It's a great format, brother. It's a great format. Oh, really? Now, see, this is where Peter and I differ. I really like this event, but
lame, boring. Nothing happened. There's a big fight in the first issue. Then they talk for 3 months about like what are they going to do, and then there's a Deus Ex Machina ending. It's one of the weakest events of the past decade. Looks great, absolutely beautiful. Every panel stunning.
I love this. Like, I actually dug this. Okay, what would you say?
Dumb as shit.
Wow.
Here's the thing, and we'll get to this in a minute. I love McKay's Avengers, so I was like, and I've read I love McKay's Moon Knight. I've read all of the stuff that led up to this. So I was like, yeah, I read Blade by Brian Hill, so I was so primed for this. The first issue was so big and so cool, and then it just
okay. Okay. You didn't even like the ending? Like I don't want to spoil what happens at the end, but it does lead into the next thing. You weren't like, oh, cool. What does that mean?
It had the feel of that thing that Marvel does a lot, where McKay had an arc that he was going to do, and Marvel is like, let's spit it out into 100 things. It really probably could have just been like an Avengers, Moon Knight, Doctor Strange crossover without needing like an event book and all that. Because the Avengers book, McKay still did right, but the main team isn't in it. It's a totally separate team. So it really could have just been.
Oh, I love that story.
It was great. It was great, but I'm just saying, it just felt, I don't know. I really like a lot of recent Marvel events. I think Judgment Day is their best event ever. I think War of the Realms is an amazing event. I think both the Donny Cates events, Absolute Carnage and King of Black, were pretty solid. This one I was so excited, and then kind of nothing happened.
Oh, I dug this one. I really like this one. I'm not, events for Marvel and DC in the last few years have been very hit and miss with me. Like I wasn't the biggest fan. I can't even remember of what was the Empire. Wasn't the biggest fan of Empire. I did like Judgment Day. I thought Judgment Day was solid, but ups and downs with the tie-ins. This I like the main event a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's my type of book, man. I'm a sucker when you introduce new badass vampires into the story. I'm like, oh, where have these guys been hiding for the last 60 years? Doesn't matter. Let's find out.
Johnny, can I give you my Red Band single issues to sell at your booth now that I don't need them?
Yeah, you can bring them when you come to C2E2 in Chicago, and we'll have a little Omnidog section just for you.
Nice. Good.
Yeah. It's bad if Peter doesn't like it and Omar likes it. What? I don't like everything. So I stop calling your mom, you jackass. I'm probably the only Fear Itself fan.
I love Fear Itself. Every tie-in was great. It was all well coordinated. It's one of Marvel's best events.
No.
Oh my goodness.
We're not. You know what? That's what our evergreen should be. Let's do our favorite Marvel events.
We did that one, sir.
Did we do that already?
Yes.
I'm out of ideas. But it is coming out $34.99, 160 pages. And the other question I'm sure I'm going to get is, will this be included in an omnibus? I don't know. I honestly don't know. And I don't think so. I don't think the red band version will be included in an omnibus. I think they'll put the regular version, the version that's available.
That's a good point.
In an omnibus format to make this one stand out, so you're not like, oh man, I feel like I'm double dipping. I'm just saying. Thank you, James. Marvel Comics.
You should go watch it, Omar.
I was a part of that. Thank you for inviting me. And moving on to Marvel Television's Agatha All Along, the Art of the Series, hardcovers and slipcase. I was a fan of this, by the way. I really like this series. The last two episodes were solid. All right, here we go. This has changed. This was canceled. People have asked me, and now it's back, but it's a little different. So it's Marvel Archive Edition. So it's no longer the Masterpiece Edition. It is now called the Marvel Archive Edition, Amazing Spider-Man: The Black Costume Year 1 Gallery Edition. That's a mouthful. Still collecting the same content, 252 to 263, 464 pages, $125. The trim size is 9 1/4 by 13. Because it's a gallery edition, I want to say that it's the exact same trim size, right? As a gallery edition. I can't believe Johnny actually has a measuring.
I'll be right back.
Did you just have that in your back pocket?
Always. I'm a boy. Yeah, I'm a Boy Scout, man. What do you expect?
Okay.
I'm actually not, but no. We're in my office. What are we looking at?
For the people that were wondering why this was canceled, what's going on, I think some things had to be changed, and that was one of and they had to change it throughout the whole thing.
What is it? 9 1/4 by what?
It's 9 1/4 by 13. Which
I
assume
it's actually a little bit smaller then, like a half inch, quarter of an inch.
Okay. Will this have same errors as an omnibus? I wouldn't think so, because these are facsimiles. So these have been released as facsimile editions, and what they're doing is putting the facsimiles together into a book like this. So we'll have the ads, and we'll have the different type of paper stock too.
So wait, when you say is it going to be more like the Taschen paper stock, or is it going to be still Marvel's like restoration? But you do not know.
I don't think they'll use the Taschen tape paper stock. They'll use some kind of matte paper.
Still be matte. Okay.
So is this one called a Marvel Archive Edition and a Gallery Edition? Marvel Archive Edition.
I think it always had Gallery Edition at the end. Even when
why does it have two titles?
The Masterpiece Edition. So maybe people could be like, it's a gallery size, maybe.
Anytime they get
then
two
why not
colons
just
into one title, that's hot.
Marvel Archive Edition, Amazing Spider-Man: The Black Costume Year 1 Gallery Edition, Ron Friend's original first issue cover.
Well, it's got 3 colors, Curtis.
Great title.
Marvel making people pay for ads. Dude, the thing that I get asked about is, can you ship these media mail? Because they have ads in them. That's the thing I've been asked. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's archival. Like, so perhaps. I'm sorry, I did forget about that. The Black Saga costume did have one page that was misprinted. But this, I would assume not, because they're using the facsimile files for this. So speaking of Avengers, take it away, Peter. Avengers by Jed MacKay, Volume 4. We're not up to these issues monthly yet, are we?
We're up to issue, I believe, 21, because I just read it last night. Y'all, I love this book so much. I'm here to stump for it hard. It is, as I've said in the past, like as if it is the JLA by Morrison as Avengers. They're all big, iconic Avengers, and they have big, iconic threats. The art has been nonstop gorgeous. The art in this by Valerio Schiti, we all know we love him. But Fareed Karami is my like big find of 2024. He had been drawing before this, but everything he touched in 2024 was gorgeous. He did that Black Panther Blood tie-in with Cheryl Eaton and Andrew Dalhouse on colors that is just every panel glows. He has hit the big time, and it happens live in this book. This is great. It's got some smaller stories in it, which are really satisfying. There's a Hyperion story that really ties into Jason Aaron's Heroes Reborn, but like makes it relevant to this team as Avengers as well. And I like that. I miss when new runs by new writers care about what happened in runs by the prior writer. It also has a really good X-Men issue, which makes sense because Jed MacKay is also writing X-Men. I just love this Avengers book. I think it had a brief wobble right before Bloodhound where it wasn't like totally killing, but every issue clicks. I'm always like, wow, that was perfect. I have no notes, which from me it's not a sentence that gets uttered a lot. I highly endorse this.
Yeah. Thank you, Bruce. The Bruce size from Amazon is 9.57 and by 13.28 inches. Maybe they are. What did it say it was? 9 1/4. Well, I don't know. I want to say it's the same size.
It's close.
Maybe they were just rounding. Man, people are serious about the Avengers. That's cool. And you know who's in the Avengers? I heard about one of my good friends texted me. Actually, a couple of people texted me that one of my favorite New Warriors is in the Avengers, and that made me smile. That's awesome.
Ultra Girl?
No one likes Ultra Girl. Okay.
That's why I thought it was
you. Don't remember this phenomenal moment of an Avenger or a New Warrior turned Avenger? That's like Justice and Firestar joining the Avengers. Another one of, I think, the entire channel that has read this. I think Curtis has read. Curtis, you've read these too, right?
Yep, that's right. This is a great book.
Fantastic Four by Ryan North, Volume 5, Aliens, Ghosts, and Alternate Earths. Collecting Fantastic Four 23 to 28. What a phenomenal series. Somebody, I think a couple streams, because I wasn't in the last live stream that we did for Marvel, but somebody said in the previous stream that the series was ending, but he was just taking a little bit of a break. That's what it was. But it's back.
Yeah, I think they gave him a break month while the Venom War Fantastic Four one-shot was coming out in place of the series, which he didn't write. Ryan North didn't write. This has yet another of my favorite issues of Fantastic Four of all time in it, which is issue 25. My notes, I just pulled up my notes. It says, it's perfection.
What about 11 and 12?
11 and 12, right up there. I mean, this now dominates my top 20 Fantastic Four issues of all time. I think like half of them are now from this run. I think this is Marvel's best book. I don't think there's any way to argue that it's not.
It's definitely one that makes it at the top of my reading pile every month. Peter, I haven't had a chance to talk to you. Did you read Ultimate X-Men?
No.
Okay. I loved it. I loved Ultimate X-Men. I thought it was excellent. I'm not talking about the Mark Miller Ultimate X-Men. I'm talking about the Peach Momoko Ultimate X-Men. I feel like Ultimate X-Men. You don't like Peach Momoko? You don't like women creators? What's going on?
No, none of them. I always tune out for women creators. We know this.
Such a hater. My gosh.
I hate her.
I just like how different the series are. Okay, all right. We'll talk about that later. Ultimate Black Panther by Brian Hill, Volume 2, Gods and Kings. This is collecting Ultimate Black Panther 7 through 12. Brian Hill is also the gentleman that did some stuff for DC, didn't he? I can't remember the books that I've read with his name on them recently, but this is 136 pages, $17.99. Omar, nobody's talking about the Mark Miller Ultimate X-Men. Nobody.
What? Should be in a minute.
Wait, who said what?
Yeah. I thought he meant Ultimates. I take it back. I thought he meant Ultimates.
Yeah, you like Ultimates, Jess?
Yeah, I love it. It was one of my gateway books into Marvel.
Yeah. Did you like when you know, like Mark Miller pissed off all of France? Did you like that? That was really edgy.
I never thought about it that
You think
way.
the A stands for France? I was like,
All of
no. As he was talking about surrendering. Surrender. Product of their time. So much edginess in that book. But I actually like a lot of edge. And so does Peter.
I still like that book. I thought it was good.
There's no denying that. God bless you, Ryan Wilson. That's all I'll say.
Wow.
Exceptional X-Men by Eve L. Ewing, Volume 1, Duty Calls. So From the Ashes, collecting the first 5 issues, 120 pages, and $17.99. This has artwork by Carmen Carnero. This is one of the few series I have not read a single issue.
What a great cover.
It is. It has major Whedon Astonishing vibes for a few reasons, not just because Kitty and Emma are in it, just like tonally. And Carmen Carnero's art. This might be the best looking Marvel title right now. It's not. It lacks like a big conflict. It's really kind of just about the interpersonal drama between Kitty and Emma. It could also almost be called New Mutants, because there's definitely new cast members and there's only 3 of them, so it keeps the focus pretty tight. It's not like the Simone X-Men book where she just makes up somebody new every issue and there's like more characters than you can pay attention to. This is the cast here on the cover. It's I really like it. I'm waiting to see where it's going, but the writing's really strong, the voice is strong. Carmen Carnero's art, man, whoa, with Nolan Woodard on colors, who really I wish colored more for Marvel.
So I'm not supposed to know those 3 characters.
No, they are all brand new.
Okay. Yeah, Barr's a big fan of the From the Ashes series. So I guess there is a point to starting over again, right? Faces of the Moon Knight. So not part of Jed MacKay's series?
So this is an anthology book. There's 2 stories per issue. MacKay does contribute a few, and some of them kind of fill out the current world of Moon Knight, explains who was Moon Knight at that time, and MacKay fills in some stuff too. And then there's some like historical and future Moon Knights as well. I have to say, it's pretty great.
So it's an anthology series from different times of Moon Knight's life.
Yeah.
Oh, but that could be fun depending on who Moon Knight was at what time, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's like a Middle Ages one. There's one like 300 years from now. It's really just cool. It was a fun read. I don't usually go up for anthology books, but because there have been so many Moon Knights, and because each story just picks a distinct Moon Knight that we maybe have or haven't heard about and just does it, and each issue was double length, so it's really almost like 8 issues. I just found it really easy to pay attention to and engage with, because it wasn't like a Deadpool anthology where it's like 8 Deadpool stories. Like, how do you even tell them apart? Each Moon Knight was very distinct, and there's a lot of really good writing. I know the Jed MacKay story is with George Fornes. It's so pretty. It's so pretty.
Okay.
It's a Night Raven from Marvel UK.
Easy, Crisis. Easy.
Why has Justice never been on an X team? Thank you for asking the real questions, Red Ghost. Firestar made it. Why didn't Justice make it? It's a great question. He made it in the Avengers, though. Deadpool Team Up is this? Oh, this is a new series. Is this the last series that Rob Liefeld said he was? Is that Chris Star?
Let's hope so.
Wait, who said that? Who said let's hope so?
Jess did.
You monster! Were you not a fan of Youngblood and Bloodpool?
Johnny, what are you doing to me?
You ratted him
I did just
me out, dude.
Yeah, I was kind of sorry, buddy. Sorry down there.
What the hell?
I actually like Liefeld's art.
Oh yeah.
So collecting Deadpool team up 1 through 5. That is Chris Star Warrior. That's crazy. Okay. And Major X back.
Everybody loves Major X. One of the most popular X-Men characters of the past decade.
You know, your sarcasm, you're just laying it on too thick today. Not appreciated. If Sir Rob Liefeld is watching this stream,
I mean, what is your favorite Major X story, Omar?
The one where it's revealed who he is.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
That was a big revelation. That it's Cable. No, I'm just kidding. I can't remember who it is.
And look, Rob Liefeld, there's a foot right in the middle of that cover. So naysayers, suck it. Suck that foot.
Wow. Dude, Crit Star, why is nobody else flipping out that he's on the cover?
The chat is.
Go up for Chris Star chat.
Predator versus Black Panther. Oh, yeah. Benjamin Percy. I'm in, dude. I like that Predator versus Wolverine book. That was awesome. It was ridiculous. Over the top, but I loved it. What is this rated? Parental advisory. Yes. Collected 4 issues, 112 pages. Give me an omnibus Predator versus everybody one day. Predator.
Omar, guess what? This book is really fun. So
that's what the first one was, the Wolverine one. It was a lot of fun.
But it almost feels like Black Panther and Wakanda and the Predators are natural foes that have like a centuries-long dispute and will always be enemies. Like Brazan, it's Brazan, right? It's not, or is it Percy? Sorry, I'm having a blackout.
Benjamin Percy?
Yeah, it's Percy, right? Percy really sells that like they are mortal enemies and it's meant to be that way. It's set very much in like current-ish Black Panther, but it doesn't make really clear where it sits. And the art is like really it's almost like too busy. The Chris Allen art and the way that it's colored is just like everywhere. But if you like Predator and it's a really good Black Panther book, I don't know how I'm struggling to articulate what I mean. It just feels like it was always meant to be written. It's very strange. More so than the Wolverine book. The Wolverine book was fun, but this feels like Predator should always be a Black Panther villain.
Oh, now you got me excited because, like, I one of my favorite crossover books was Batman versus Predator, both 1 and 2. I think the third one that was okay, but 1 and 2 were excellent, so good.
Yeah, this is cool. If you like Black Panther and you like Predator, I don't think this will miss for you.
Spider-Man Venom War. That is a Greg Land cover.
So yes, baby.
I will let Crisis talk. So is this a new crossover? Collecting Venom War.
Part of Venom War.
Okay. Venom War, Lethal Protectors 1 through 4, Venom War, Fantastic Four, and Venom War. It's Jeff, the Land Shark. Tell me about this. What is this, Peter?
Okay, so Venom War, huge, sprawling. This has a lot of Venom War things that you don't necessarily need to read all of Venom War to appreciate. Venom War Spider-Man is just what Spider-Man is doing during Venom War. It's interesting because it's written by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanning, who are pretty good. And it also has art by Greg Land, who I really like drawing Spider-Man. Non-ironically, I think he draws a really cool Spider-Man. Venom War Lethal Protectors is actually Silver Sable series. I don't know why it's called Lethal. I kind of know why it's called Lethal Protectors. But if you love Silver Sable, it is a Silver Sable story by Sabir Pirzada, and it actually references like old Silver Sable continuity, which is pretty cool. Venom War Fantastic Four is not great. It's by Adam Warren, and it was rough. But then Venom War, it's Jeff. It's a whole Jeff issue of Jeff as a Venom. It is the most delightful thing you'll ever read. It's got Gordon art. It's got Kate Bishop. It's got Gwenpool. Jess is gonna lose it when he reads it. I was laughing out loud. It's so adorable. I almost cried at how cute it is.
Is it written by Kelly Thompson?
Yes, and it's a double-length issue.
Oh, whoa!
So you don't need to have read all of Venom War. I think if any 1 or 2 of those things sound cool to you, then you might like this book. You truly do not need to have understood the frame of Venom War to enjoy any of these series.
Oh, I can't wait.
I would grab that single issue of the Jeff book. Jess, I would pick it up as a single.
What did you say, Curtis?
So why are his webs chains on the cover there?
Because he's Venom. Remember the new Venom has chains.
The new Venom has chains.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Curtis. The new Venom has chains.
Jeez, you freaking epic readers! You'll read about it in 10 years. You're gonna be like, "Oh man, it's so cool! Venom's got chains." Wolverine Deep Cut. Chris Claremont, Edgar Salazar, Mark Silvestri. Ooh. Oh, okay. I got really excited. I was like, what? Collecting Wolverine Deep Cut 1 through 4 and Uncanny X-Men 246 and 251. 136 pages, $17.99. At last, the untold story of Logan's most personal mission is revealed. Say no more. I don't need to read what happens. But if it's got issue 246, that's okay. Hold on. 244 is Jubilee. 245 is Min. 246. That's an interesting issue to collect in here with 251. Actually, 251.
Well, Claremont says that this happens based on Wolverine saying he's got somewhere to go in 246, and that this is what we didn't see.
Yes! How awesome was that? He was planning 30 years ago. That's awesome. Now that's storytelling, dude. I mean,
so is this a news story?
Yeah, it's one of those retro stories that Marvel has been doing.
Yeah.
I'm loving it, man. They do this.
Okay.
They've been doing this with X-Men. They did it with some of the Avengers and Spider-Man. Yeah, like Peter David's symbiote Spider-Man has been so good.
They're very fun.
So good.
A lot of Greg Land art. So.
And Star Wars. Oh, it's Ahsoka Tano Season 1 by Rodney Barnes. Oh, they're doing it's an adaptation of Season 1. Okay. $34.99. Because I thought Season 2 was going to be a movie. It's a cool David Nakayama cover.
Yeah. Beauty.
Ooh, that's a cool cover. This is Star Wars Visions. Well, it's a Treasury edition.
What?
That's awesome.
This was a cool book. I like this one a lot.
Wow. Okay, so two acclaimed Japanese creators revealed their incredible visions of the Star. Because Star Wars Visions was that, right? It was like a bunch of anime studios coming together to make like Star Wars shorts. And this is an anthology. So it's Star Wars Visions, Peach Momoko, Takeshi Okazaki, and it has Darth Vader, Black, White, and Red, which is a material from, which has also been collected in the gallery edition. I like these, man. These are awesome. I love anthologies, and I like re-envisioning of the characters, which is ironically enough, right? Like Star Wars The Vision came from part of it, not the whole thing, but what was it? Hidden Fortress, right? Kurosawa film? Anybody?
Yes. Yeah, Hidden Fortress.
Okay. That's what I thought it was. I couldn't remember if that was the one or not. And then we got Kid Venom Origins. We had a Kid Carnage for a while, which was a fun book. This is collecting Kid Venom Origins and Kid Venom 1 through 4. I don't want to read who it is, but it's written by Taigami and drawn by Taigami. That is Gerardo Sandoval cover. Earth X.
It's set far in the past. It's not a present day. It's not like Spider-Boy. This is in.
You ruined it for me. I thought it was.
I'm not. All right. Well, there's nothing to ruin. Like it's not in present continuity.
You ruined it. It's not in present continuity. It's set in Japan in 977. Now this makes sense. Earth X, if the rumors are true, or I don't know if it's confirmation. I can't remember. But this collects Earth X 0 through 12 and the X one shot, 472 pages, $44.99. It is a story by Jim Krueger and Alex Ross, but drawn by the phenomenal Jean-Paul Leon. And I think it's because of who they've cast as Silver Surfer in the Fantastic Four movie, because it's that Silver Surfer, not the Silver Surfer that everybody was like, it's not Norrin Red, but most people that were complaining don't even read comics, I think. But apparently it's a different Silver Surfer. And Fantastic Four versus Galactus. A lot of Fantastic Four trades coming out. Stan Lee, John Byrne. So collecting the Coming of Galactus 48 through 50 and then 242 to 244. If only we could just get John Byrne to come back and finish his last Galactus story. How amazing would that be just to release it in a gallery edition? $17.99, 136 pages. There he is. Hashtag not my Silver Surfer. All right, Curtis, you've been waiting patiently. Take it away.
Avengers Epic Collection, Volume 12, Court Martial. We have Volume 13. It just came out recently, Season of the Witch. And so this one, they jumped ahead for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why, but they are going back now to fill in that one volume gap. This has Avengers 210 to 226 in annual number 11, plus the Vision and Scarlet Witch 4-issue miniseries. This is part of the Trial of Yellow Jacket era of Avengers from Jim Shooter and Bob Hall, I think, is one of the main artists on this. Good. This is good classic stuff. A lot of people have been waiting for this volume.
And then the new printing
of Mutant Genesis. I think this is the second time it's been reprinted already. So it's coming back. It's a popular one. Mostly X Factor issues in this one, I think.
Yeah, but the best X Factor issues, Endgame. And then it does have the Muir Island. Well, it's got the crossover with the Muir Island saga, and then Adjectiveless X-Men 1 through 3. And Ultimate X-Men.
Ultimate X-Men. It's not labeled a modern era epic collection. Right. It's labeled an ultimate epic collection. Ultimate X-Men. This is the series you were talking about earlier that no one's talking about. So will this one sell well? Who knows? I bet it will. This is I like this stuff. The early issues of Ultimate X-Men were quite a lot of fun. They were like all of that stuff. Take it in terms of its context, its era. It was all edgy and but I liked it way back then. It also has the Wizard half issue in this one. It only collects the first 12 issues, so the first 2 story arcs.
Is it mapped similar to the Ultimate Collections, Ultimate X-Men?
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
So that's what they did with Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yep.
Black
Widow Modern Era Epic Collection Volume 1. We previously got Volume 3, but now we're going back to this one, and I'm pretty sure it's because Yelena Belova has a starring role in a lot of these issues, and with the Thunderbolts movie coming out, we're gonna get a lot of those tie-ins. This is a series of mini-series that were launched during the Marvel Knights era of Marvel. This is Black Widow, the 1999 series 1-3, Black Widow 2001 1-3, and then Black Widow Pale Little Spider, Black Widow the 2004 6-issue series, and Black Widow the Things They Say About Her 1-6. All of this stuff has been reprinted before in separate trades, and now they're collecting it kind of all together in a big 500-page trade paperback.
And it's all pretty good. I mean, the Rucka stuff is great. The Devin Grayson stuff is great. This is really the first starring solo Black Widow that she had other than the Abattoir OGN for almost a decade. And there's not a lot of other stuff to read with her in this period. She wasn't that pivotal on Avengers at this point. She was in Marvel Knights, but if you like Black Widow, either of them, if you like Yelena or if you like Natasha, that's a good little book to pick up. Honestly, it's not like best ever, but it's not going to let you down.
It's got some great artwork too. And I think when people see Igor Kordy, they think immediately of his Extreme X-Men or his New X-Men and could get turned off. But when Igor can take his time and not drawing 3 books a month, he's a freaking awesome artist. And I really like the art in here. Both from him and, of course, J.G. Jones, who just steals it. Oh, he's so good. I forgot Sean Phillips did some of the artwork in there as well. Did we announce this one, Curtis?
Yes. Yeah, we sure did.
No, we did. I remember. I was just testing you if you remembered, Curtis.
Yeah, this is the very first Spider-Man Modern Era Epic Collection. This is the J. Michael Straczynski stuff. Right when right when he took over with Amazing Spider-Man number 30. So this is the beginning to the modern era. This is where those trades with the red spines start as well, and it's the same content, I believe, as well. Amazing Spider-Man 30 to 45.
Oh, some good stuff.
And yes, this does have the 9/11 issue in it. This volume.
Yeah, there's some great stuff coming your way if you've never read it. I love this. Was like my return to comics, like coming back and finding this era of Spider-Man. So good. So this would be volume 1 then, right? Coming Home will be volume 1.
This is volume 1. Yep.
Modern era. 10 years from now will just be epic. And Deadpool Modern Era Epic Collection and Wade We Trust Volume 5. What's in this one, Curtis?
So this is interesting because it says Deadpool 1 to 19, and I'm pretty sure that's not what we announced when we. Let me just double check our slides here because I'm pretty sure we announced it was something else.
What did we announce?
That's what I have to look up.
It's in Wade We Trust. Okay. This
While
one.
Chris looks that up, I will say that the story on the cover here with I think it's called The Good, the Bad, and Ugly. This was on the Deadpool stream, our universal recommendation of like one of the best Deadpool stories of all time.
I think we had announced collecting issues 1 through 14, 20, and 26.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I was just
so they decided because I guess I don't know if it's another case where they had to put in some fill-in issues here and there in order to help with late schedules or something like that, but they decided to give us just a straight 1 through 19, which is kind of cool. I like that.
It's really good. I would say this is probably the best 19 consecutive issues of Deadpool of all time.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah, this is an amazing run these two guys did.
Not a epic collection, but Wolverine Enemy of the State. Collecting Wolverine 20 to 32. 352 pages, $39.99. This is Mark Miller. It's got that one shot in there with the I think it's the Nazi story, isn't it? And then it gets into the Enemy of the State. Because that one was with Carrie Andrews and then John Romita Jr. drawing Enemy of the State. And Scotty Young's Human Torch coming back. This was, I think, his very first published. Well, it was Spider-Man and then this at Marvel. I remember seeing him at WizardCon 2002 when I was coming back to comics and getting to meet him. My brother was a huge fan of his art. And he had that jacket on that Johnny's wearing on one of the covers. He was like, dude, that's based on my jacket. He was such a super cool guy. And this was back when artists like him were just giving away free sketches. Like every artist was giving away free sketches. And I remember this guy being jealous of this guy that was collecting like sketches by different artists, but they were just different X-Men or X-Men related characters. So he let the artists choose whoever they wanted to draw, and Scotty Young chose the Blob. I can't imagine, like, and it was a huge blob, like an entire sheet. It's like, holy crap! I can't imagine how much that sketch, all his sketches are worth. But this is collecting the Human Torch series 1 through 6, $17.99. Peter, was this part of the Tsunami run? Or
somebody in the comments was like, "Oh, I love the Tsunami series." I think that's what this is.
Okay,
that is. Yep, this is.
Yeah,
I'm surprised. I'm surprised to see it. They don't really do much with the Tsunami era books at all. This one, especially being just 6 issues.
No, I think the only one
cool.
that survived was Runaways, right? Like Runaways is the only Tsunami book that actually outlasted that whole era. I mean, they tried to change Venom and Mystique to Tsunami titles, but that didn't really take off.
Namor was as well, I think.
Sentinel was so fun. I know it was Iron Giant, but I freaking loved Sentinel. Now, at this moment, if you live in the EU and you're interested in purchasing any of these books, go and check out Walt's Comic Shop. They're based out of Berlin, Germany. They have flat shipping rates for €12 for all EU countries. All emails answered within 24 hours. And if you put in the code near mint condition, all one word at the checkout, you get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order of over €40 or more. And that's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe.
Hey, Omar, I got a quick question for you regarding the Star Wars reference where you said George Lucas got influenced by what movie?
Hidden Fortress. The Kurosawa.
Have you ever watched this? Come Drink with Me by the Shaw Brothers?
No, I love the Shaw Brothers, and that's one of my ones that I want to watch. I haven't seen that one.
This has an awful lot of stuff that I watched it a couple months ago with my movie buddy, and it didn't have enough action for her. You know, it's an old movie, but it had an awful lot of stuff that could be looked at as kind of force related. She has like force related powers in this movie towards the end. And I can see a lot of Star Wars in this movie. I'd be interested in your thoughts on it.
That's one of the Shaw Brothers that's on my list, but I haven't seen it. Yeah.
I'd be interested in your take on it, because we picked up on a lot of the idea of force as a weapon and channeling the force and other things in there.
I know that you probably don't know this, but do you know when that came out? What year that came out?
Oh, I don't have my glasses. Just a sec. Come drink with me.
It's not like I have access to the internet here. Like I could just look it up.
Well, I have the movie right in front of me.
I was just going to go back and do a quick recap for people. Yeah, while you look that up, I will do a quick recap. The best omnibus here. New Warriors, Nova, Night Thrasher Omnibus is coming out. Both covers available the same day. And Round Robin making it to a cover. The Fall of the House of X and Rise of Powers of X coming out in omnibus format. Wolverine Goes to Hell omnibus reprint, as well as X Factor by Peter David omnibus reprint. Thank you. James is saying 1966. And,
thank you.
Warren is calling that movie garbage. Spectacular Spider-Man by J.M. Timothy.
Sure.
Don't call Peter that. He's in the chat right now. Spectacular
my favorite band, garbage. See, Warren and I totally aligned.
Oh my gosh. By DeMatteis and Buscema omnibus. Marvel Masterworks Captain America Volume 17 and Marvel Masterworks The Incredible Hulk Volume 19. X Factor by Peter David omnibus Volume 4. And Blood Hunt Red Band hardcover, getting the seal of approval from friend of the channel, Crushing Crisis. Agatha All Along the
all the books I said nice things about, and that's the
one that I'm going to remember forever. Agatha All Along, The Art of the Series, hardcover slipcase. Woo! Where was I? Okay, the Marvel Archive Edition, Amazing Spider-Man, the Black Costume Year 1 Gallery Edition. All three covers available the same day. It is now known as the Marvel Archive, not Marvel Masterpiece Edition. Avengers by Jed McKay, Volume 4. I believe that was an Omnidog pick. Fantastic Four by Ryan North, Volume 5. I don't think anyone talks about that series enough. By Brian Hill. Volume 2. And Exceptional X-Men by Eve Ewing, Duty Calls, Volume 1. The Faces of Moon Knight, trade paperback, and the Deadpool team up. But more importantly, Chris Starr making it on the cover. Can't believe you guys didn't lose your mind about that. Predator versus Black Panther, Venom War, Spider-Man Lethal Protectors, and Wolverine Deep Cut. And we're also getting the Star Wars Ahsoka Tano and Star Wars Visions. This looks really freaking cool, man. It's a gallery or treasury edition, meaning it's oversized. And Kid Venom Origins, taking place in 977 Japan.
Spoilers, Omar.
Yeah, you ruined it for me. Now I'm not reading it. Fantastic Four versus Galactus. I was only going to read it if it took place in the 616 universe. Avengers Epic Collection Court Martial, and that is Volume 12. And back to print is X-Men Epic Collection Mutant Genesis, Volume 19. Ultimate X-Men The Tomorrow People, that is Volume 1 of the Epic Collections of Ultimate X-Men. And Black Widow Modern Era Epic Collection Volume 1. Amazing Spider-Man Modern Era Epic Collection Volume 1. Deadpool Modern Era Epic Collection Volume 5. Wolverine Enemy of the State trade paperback, back to print. And Human Torch, another trade paperback. I'm surprised they didn't do a digest size. I'm glad they didn't. That is it for the catalog. So my question to you all in the chat and my wonderful co-host today, Dying Breed Collectors, Omnidog, Crisis with a K, Curtis from Epic Marvel Podcast. What is the one book you're most excited for out of this Solicitations? Give it to me. Who wants to go? One book.
Captain America Masterworks, by far.
Really? Johnny, coming in with the Masterworks. Okay.
I've been transitioning to a Masterworks guy for the last few months. I have been buying a ton, actually.
Wow, somebody gave themselves a raise. Okay. These ain't cheap, man. Okay, Marvel Masterworks Volume 17. All right. You're a big fan of the J.M. DeMatteis era, or more of a Mike Zeck art? Like
the Mike Zeck, but yeah, J.M. DeMatteis is cool. You know, I like the thickness of these books compared to Omnis. If I'm being honest, like I wish they were OHCs. I wish that Masterworks were OHC size, and that's what they were, but they're not. So yeah, these are cool. I like them better than Omnis. If I'm being honest, that's the decision I've made recently.
Okay.
Sorry to break your heart, buddy.
Oh, it's all right. People are wrong all the time. My question is, if like 10 years time, Marvel's like, you know, we're going to do a all new, all different Masterworks and go back to the previous Masterworks, but just make them oversized and add letter pages.
That's what we're missing is though. I want a book of just letters pages. When they're done with the series, give me like a bonus volume of just letter pages.
Oh my God, you and Curtis, you guys are crazy. No, that's an awful idea. Nobody wants that.
The other thing too I'll say is I do like the marble covers more than the silver because the numbering on the spines is going to be inconsistent no matter what. So that way I can kind of just jump in and out of a series and it's not as like egregious as like having just volume 3 through 6 or something.
Okay. What about you, Omnidog?
At first I was most excited about Fall and Rise of X.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm still excited for it, especially that Nakayama cover. But that Star Wars Visions book, I'm really intrigued with now.
Yeah, I'm digging this idea.
I know. Yeah,
it's a treasury edition too.
Yeah, that's sounds really fresh and new and interesting. So yeah, I'm into this one the most. Okay. I think.
Love that cover too.
Yeah.
What about you, Peter? What's the one book you're most excited for?
You know, I want to be excited for that Krakoa Omnibus because I was stumping so hard for it when the trades came out. It's just so hard to get excited about that book without knowing what the mapping is going to be. Like, I don't think I could buy it before I see your overview. And so I remain optimistic. So I think for me, it's what a lot of the chat is saying, which is that Black Widow epic. I have all that in trades, but they've never just committed to like getting it all in one hunk before. It's a lot of like mismatched trades from different lines and different times. And I think the material is really strong. So I don't buy a lot of the modern epic series, but I think this one is doing us a real favor by just gathering together a lot of stuff that was disparate. And I think that's a really good use for the modern epic series.
Oh, Black Widow. You said epic. Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're in the right channel or not. Okay.
Look at my backdrop, friend. The epics.
I see that Extinction
Agenda. I got my first
DC
Finest right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see that Extinction Agenda. Don't you move the camera.
I see Birthright right there.
All right, Curtis, take it away. What epic are you most excited for?
Well, I think I might have to say Black Widow as well, although Black Widow and Spider-Man are both excellent books. I have the old trades, so I'll be happy to kind of upgrade to these ones. I don't know if I can pick. Yeah, I'll probably go with Black Widow as well. Non-epic wise, I'm also really interested in the Visions book, Star Wars Visions, because that's just a great series.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about Deadpool. I haven't read that Deadpool at all. So
dude, that Deadpool is
you're
so
in for
good.
a treat.
So good.
Oh yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that based on the praise here.
And then you're gonna come back and go, you guys all suck, because that book sucked in your opinion. Now sucks.
That's not gonna happen.
Never listening to Crisis or Omar ever again.
I also just, if I were an Omnibus buyer, I would definitely be getting the Spectacular Spider-Man stuff. But I'm holding out for Epic.
Curtis? You get
Pardon
one
me?
choice. You get one choice, buddy.
Epic Collections.
I'm kidding, man.
I'm waiting for that.
That's a good segue to my choice.
Yeah.
I think, most people would probably say I would be all over this one, and rightly so, because it's Fabian Nicieza, it's Kurt Busiek, it's Dan Slott. It's like all this early writing of all these wonderful people, and I just love this era. But I really, really have been waiting years for this one. So Spectacular Spider-Man by J.M. DeMatteis and Sal Buscema. Oh, it's wonderful. I absolutely love the stories in here. And I'm glad they're, the way it's mapped, it's mapped to go right beside the Clone Saga, right before the Clone Saga starts. So excited. And they're also putting Soul the Hunter in there, which is phenomenal because Mike Zeck drew that. And it is a follow-up to the Kraven's Last Hunt. Now, I am going to go through the chat here and see what everybody else is excited for. Star Wars Visions, absolutely outstanding Star Wars comic storytelling. Oh, good. And finally, we get Lifefield's take on Crystar. What a Christmas present. Yes, John, thank you. I don't know if you're being facetious or not, but yeah. X Factor Volume 4. And Spectacular Spider-Man, Black Widow, Epic Blood Hunt hardcover. Luke Warren's excited for that Blood Hunt. This is not you. Black Widow, Modern Era, Epic Collection, Amazing Spider-Man, Modern Era, Kid Venom, Origins, the Marvel Masterworks Hulk, Fallen, Rise of X for me. Happy to have some modern Omnis coming out. And it's good to see you. What's up, Aaron? How are you, buddy? I'm excited for that Spider-Man Modern Era Epic Collection coming home. Also really excited for Spectacular Spider-Man by DeMatteis and Buscema Omnibus. New Warriors Companion Omnibus, baby. That's right. You didn't know about the Hulk Marvel Masterworks? I didn't announce that? Oh, maybe I should ask for that list. I will ask for the list this week. First, I got to get those covers for the Epics, though. Join late but easy New Warriors. Literally nothing. I've not catered to enough. Oh my gosh, Bar. There's a Black Widow collection in there for you. Written by Dan.
Said no soft cover. She wants it. She needs it bigger.
All right. Well, never go watch any of Curtis's reviews. He talks about epic collections. Earth X, Miss the Omni, Amazing Spider-Man, Epic Volume 1. We'll wait for the mapping of Volume 2 before I buy 1. Earth X, but DC has most of my money. Marvel Masterworks are for the classy collectors. Like Johnny. Johnny. Sorry if it's asked. It's confirmed that Marvel Team Up Masterworks coming out this month is missing issue 79. If you give me a minute, I will go look, and I have to remember. And no Iron Man announcements, John. Has anyone played Marvel Champions yet? It's so good. No, but that new Marvel game looks really cool.
Rivals.
Curtis picked the nominee. That's right. Fall, the House of X and Rise of the Powers of X. Spectacular and epic soon. Night Thrasher is a legit real character. Who said that? Super Sony? How dare you? Yes, he's a real character. He's awesome. Spectacular is the only answer. Avengers Epic, X Factor 4, Black Widow Epic, J.G. Jones art for the win. I'm excited for more Omnidog on very fine condition.
Yeah.
You got a fan, Jess. Oh, it's
Thank you, Elon.
Doesn't count. He's been on your channel. Doesn't count.
That counts.
Curtis chose multiple books, so I'm choosing more. X Factor by Peter David. Deep cut. Spider-Man by James DeMatteis, and thanks for the encouragement, Curtis. I left for about 40 minutes. What did they go over? Everything you've not heard of. Everything. You need to go back and rewind. Spectacular Spider-Man and Blood Hunt. Spectacular Spider-Man Omnibus. Are you a double agent if you buy Omnis and Epic collections?
You are a comic book collector if you buy all formats.
I guess I did not announce Marvel Masterworks Hulk. I need to see if they have that list ready. They may only have like August and September, so I need to make sure what they've got. When does that one come out? Did it even state? Looks like it September, or no, that's an August release. So maybe I'll ask. When are we getting more DC Finest? Every month. Every month there's like 5 books. 5 books. Ban Omnidog for the Liefeld slander. You got it. He's gone. Ask. Say no more. Nobody asked, but I hate Earth X so much. Why, John? If you plant and water your epics, will they grow into Omnis? It's a good question. Yeah, we got a lot of DC. Like, every month, DC Finest has like 4 or 5 volumes coming out.
Yeah, they're
and it's not just like Batman, Wonder Woman. I mean, it is obscure stuff. It's stuff that didn't think
There's
was
25 lines.
What's that?
There's 25 title lines. I think there's 30
so
books
far
announced from 25 lines.
That's insane. No news on the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, nor Kelly Thompson Captain Marvel Volume 2. Not yet, but I will ask again.
What's this about you watching The Proposal? Are you not a fan of this movie, The Proposal?
I've never seen the movie. Amanda has been trying to get me to watch it for 2 years on Reels Talk, and she tried again this year, and it got outvoted by 51st Date. So thank God for the internet. Thank you all. Hashtag stay from The Proposal.
It's so fun. I've seen it like 4 times. It's super fun.
Oh gosh, Jess, but your taste in movies, you like X-Men: The Last Stand. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. That was wrong. Okay, you do like.
I like the Shaw Brothers. Stop it.
Okay. Not everything you like sucks. I'm sorry. That came out wrong.
Wow. That's a compliment coming from you.
It is. How likely is it that they reprint New Mutants Volume 1 in the near future?
Oh, is it out of print?
I think it went out of print this year.
Oh.
Make sure you vote every year. Yes, and we're so boring to watch fun movies. I'm doing my best Bar impression.
That's so great.
That's exactly how Bar sounds in my head.
Hey, let me ask you guys a movie question that might be a hot take a little bit. I don't know. I just
saw you going to ask about The Last Stand. You and Jess can go get a room, buddy. All right. What's the question? What do you got?
I saw The Dark Knight in a theater the other day. They had like a re-release of it. Okay, outside of the Heath Ledger parts, which are legendary, I don't think it's that great of a movie.
Why are you doing hot takes on my channel? I'm
asking why. I don't know, man. That ending, I don't know. Some of the acting is questionable.
What? Dark Knight? Really?
Maggie Gyllenhaal, outside Heath Ledger. I said Maggie Gyllenhaal. No.
Well, okay, you have a point with her, but Gary Oldman is Commissioner
better than Katie Holmes.
What's up?
Better than Katie Holmes in the first one as the main character.
I disagree. Katie Holmes.
What is wrong with you, Johnny?
Dawson.
Bruce.
Now that's all I'm going to see when I watch it. Because no one else has that opinion. I looked it up on the internet after. I'm not the only one that has that opinion.
No, people in the chat are agreeing with you. Wow, you guys are dumb.
I think,
this is revisionist history. I hate every movie. And when we walked out of that movie, my friends turned to me like, well, did you hate it? I'm like, no, it was a masterpiece.
But when's the last time you saw it? Is that 2008 Crisis?
Last month with Kid Crisis. We let her watch all the Batman movies.
Wow. What did she think?
She loved it.
Yeah, okay.
We had to explain a lot about capitalism.
I have a funny story about my kid watching the Batman trilogy with me. We watched the first 2, and then we started watching the third one, but she had to go to bed to go to school the next day. The next day, so we watched the third one, which is Dark Knight Rises with Bane. The third day, she was going to come home and watch it, but we had a call from the school saying that we needed to talk to the counselor. And apparently, she showed us, and we brought it back home. My daughter, this is Lydia, went, oh my God, it was adorable. She was like 5 years old. She had drawn a picture of Batman, and he had like dual wielding guns and shooting Bane, and like with blood splattering. So I like the good parent that I am, I waited for her to come home, and I was like, I did not need to be called to the office about this, but all right, whatever. I'll talk to my kid. And I looked at my daughter, and because we hadn't seen the third movie yet, and I said, now, baby, first of all, it's a really good picture. Second of all, Batman never uses guns ever, and he would never do this. He would never kill anybody.
It's a good teaching moment.
I took her to see Batman versus Superman, like it was opening that weekend. That's why we were watching these, right? and Affleck is like gunning dudes down in the Batwing. And I was like, God damn it, Affleck! I just told my daughter Batman doesn't kill with guns or kills, and he's just blowing dudes away. I love that story, man. No, I didn't have I think The Dark Knight was great. It was that I don't know. I still don't know if the original Batman Begins or Dark Knight is my favorite one out of the trilogy. It's definitely not the third one. That had way too many Nolan plot holes.
Yeah, I love Batman Begins a little bit more than Dark Knight, but I mean I still love Dark Knight. So Johnny, I'm sorry you're wrong.
That's okay.
Yeah, but that, I mean, you're entitled to your opinion.
Not here on
really
near very fine.
You're on near mint condition.
Aaron,
thank you for being so vulnerable, because I attack beloved things all the time here on this channel.
Exactly. I was inspired by Crisis. So you know what?
Yeah.
So can I.
I had one on this stream that I just kept in the chat. I'm like, I'm not even going to say it on air. I don't need that.
What? You were bashing on something?
I just picked one beloved thing from this stream that I only bashed in the chat.
You monster.
And go check that chat.
Aggie Gyllenhaal is nowhere near as bad as Anne Hathaway as Catwoman.
Anne Hathaway was great as Catwoman. People just like to hate Anne Hathaway because she's a type A overachiever and people can't handle her success.
Yeah, she's on. Well, okay, always an instigator, hates women. Right there. I mean, wow, that's what he's saying.
That's escalating. Well, look, somebody agrees with my buddy Johnny. Katie over Maggie.
I didn't even know this was an opinion that existed.
This is a Dawson's Creek fan right here. Logan, I agree with Logan and Joker. I 100% agree with that. Like, it's weird when people are surprised that I don't like Logan. And I'm like, but that's like, I think it's because in my head, Logan, you know how people got pissed at what's the Star Wars movie that people hated?
Rogue One.
Last Jedi.
What?
Last
Rogue
Jedi.
One.
That's it. Last
they
Jedi.
didn't hate. Rise of Skywalker is the one.
No. They hated Last Jedi because it's like that's not the way Luke would have turned out. Like, it's the second one in the new trilogy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the way I felt about Logan.
Oh.
I don't think Logan would be a limo driver in the future, even in the movie version of Logan. Like, it's just a weird futuristic like take on the character. I didn't dig it at all. Like, I wasn't a fan. But I'm also not a fan of Old Man Logan too. So there's that. So you're more than one. What's your hot take, Curtis? Why don't you get canceled with the rest of us while you're here?
He's Canadian.
He loves
my hot takes. I really liked Last Jedi.
I did too.
That's not that
it
hot
was
of
a good movie.
I loved it.
That's not that hot of a take.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Why did you like it? What was? Explain yourself.
I liked it because it was different. I thought that Force Awakens played it too safe. I enjoyed it when it came out, but on rewatching it, it's like, well, I wish they hadn't kind of just redone the whole first movie over again and stuff. So I really liked that they took chances and did something different with Last Jedi. I was fine with the direction that they took with Luke, and I was just interested in seeing where that story went. I don't know that it paid off the way I wanted it to in Rise of Skywalker, but I appreciated what they were trying to do. I like it when Star Wars does different stuff. All of these TV shows that have come out have been wildly different in different ways. Did you guys see the Skeleton Crew?
No,
I saw the first episode. It is fantastic. It is so good. I absolutely loved it 100%.
Somebody sold it to me. All they said was, Omar, it's Goonies in the Star Wars universe. And
that's what I keep hearing.
That's exactly it.
Nothing else. That's all I need to know.
And it is so good.
So Last Jedi is one of those, it is live action, right? Because
live action.
Live action.
Ooh,
yeah.
It's got what's his name? Jude Law. Jude Law's in it, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I'm excited. You know, Last Jedi is one of these movies that definitely is very divisive. Like Bruce says, Last Jedi stuff.
You just said that for free.
I don't like Last Jedi either. Like, I'm not a fan of Last Jedi. I think I see what Curtis is saying. My brother loves it, but he's also not like the biggest Star Wars guy, nor am I. But I just thought, like, I think what happened was there's expectations with these movies, right? Like there were so many years in between. There's so many novels and comics that the EU just, they have expanded on this entire universe. So when the movie came out, they were like, oh my gosh, it's Luke Skywalker and he's going to be training a bunch of Jedis and he's going to be this. I don't want to give away what happens in case people haven't seen it. I will say I really, really wish like the movie would have been awesome. It still has one of the most beautiful scenes in any of the Star Wars movies though. And it has the best, I think, probably the best fighting sequence in any of the Star Wars movies. And that's the one in the throne room. I think amazing.
Yeah, I think my thing was
had turned to the dark side at the end. I think I would. If she had gone dark, and then the next movie would have been like, we got to go get Rey back. Like she's gone full Sith. Like that would have been awesome. But they didn't, right? Like they didn't do that. And yeah, I don't hate it as much as other people. I did not like it.
It's funny. I walked out and it was a movie that I didn't like. I just don't like movies very much. But I go in, back when I used to go to the movie theater. But it was one of those things where I didn't like it for like very different reasons. I didn't like how stylized some of it was. I didn't like some of the choices that got made with some of the characters, not Luke. I loved the Luke stuff. Then I got home and I was like, oh, I bet people on the internet won't like this. And then the people didn't like it, but then for like totally different reasons that I didn't like it. So over time, I've kind of like come around and decided to like it because people disliked all the things I did like about it. So it's kind of like on balance has brought me around. I don't know. I mean, if we're talking Star Wars, I'm obsessed with Andor. I'm rewatching it right now. I think it's just a masterpiece.
Yeah, I agree.
I love Star Wars fans because the chat is just exploding with opinions. I don't even
very divisive movie.
Yeah,
maybe we should have a evergreen Star Wars, right? Our top 3 Star Wars canon things.
Oh my gosh! 50% of the chat would love us. 50% of the chat would hate us.
Nobody can pick A New Hope and then pick the 3 things, or nobody can pick original trilogy. Pick 3 Star Wars things to canonize.
Oh, yeah, like comics and books, but I haven't like read. That's the thing. I haven't read the books, right? Like my brother was the book guy. What were you saying? One of you was in the middle of saying something.
No, I was.
Was that you, Jess? Were you in the middle of saying something?
No.
Okay. Let me see. I will thank you, Bruce, for the super chat. I will always be disappointed that they did not reunite Luke, Han, Louis one last time in Star Wars 7. I think that disappointment like was for a lot of people too. Like I've seen this meme going around here for the last year about what Star Wars fans wanted and what they got compared to what Star Trek The Next Generation fans wanted and what they got with Picard the final season. And I think that's we all wanted to see that, right? And yeah, unfortunately it didn't. Last Jedi is exactly where Star Wars should have been heading.
Yes.
Toxic fandom killed it in favor of nostalgia.
Yes.
You know what? Arturo's got a good comment at 426. I love this idea.
Arturo, let's see.
Arturo Casarin.
I want Dr. Aphra and the murder droids in live action. How does that not happen?
I want that so bad. My daughter doesn't read comic books, but loves Star Wars. And I described Dr. Aphra to her with the murder droids. Well, that was when she took out the black curse Sanatan pop from the Advent calendar I gave her. And she said, "What's with this black Wookiee? What happened to Chewie?" And I said, "There's this whole thing, Dr. Aphra, and he's like a complete Sith Wookiee, and there's murder droids." And she's like, "Oh my God, I have to come over and read these comic books right away." And I'm like, "Yeah, you do. Dr. Aphra's awesome. And so is Darth Vader by Jason Aaron, which I tried to get you to read for the past 10 years.
Oh, that Darth Vader series by Gillen is so good. And a lot of it has to do with the way that, I hate to say this, but I love what Gillen did. And who was it? Spurrier did with Aphra in that series.
Mm-hmm.
I was excited for Alyssa Wong to take over the series. But my problem with Alyssa Wong's take on Dr. Aphra was I think Alyssa Wong gave people that read manga what they wanted. Like what people are like, this is what I like about manga, and that's what happened to Dr. Aphra. It became less about the action and more about a little bit of action and more of the relationships and stuff. Like I was like, oh man, I really liked what they were doing with this character.
Yeah, as I was reading Alyssa Wong's version of Aphra, I found myself asking, wasn't she like meaner than this? Wasn't she like kind of cooler and more double-crossy and less trustworthy than Alyssa Wong almost made her too likable.
She was in the Darth Vader book and the Dr. Aphra book. She was out thinking Darth Vader. I mean, like 3 steps.
And she was terrible. Like the things she came up with to outthink him were just awful.
Reprehensible.
Yeah.
George Clooney should come back as the DCU Batman. Have you watched The Flash? Thank you, Neil, for the super chat. Empire Strikes Back was just okay. Return of the Jedi.
Oh, whoa. That $5 back.
I'm with Neil. And those are New Zealand dollars. I am with Neil.
Omar, you need to get off of your own show, dude.
I'm a Return of the Jedi guy. I'm a Return of the Jedi. I remember it was the first movie my dad took me to see that I didn't have to ask him, like, what are the subtitles saying? Because I'm sure my dad, because I was in Peru, so we were watching these movies and they came with English subtitles unless they were dubbed. And I remember that being the first movie like I could read. And I was really proud of myself. And I'm sure my dad was like, oh my God, I can watch a movie without him just asking me every 5 seconds, like, what are they saying? So that one's very special to me. Yeah, I gotta go with that. I gotta go with Return of the Jedi. That's my favorite.
How old were you about? Do you remember?
When did it come out? 1980, what was it? 77, 80, right?
77, 80, 83. So
83. So yeah, I was 5.
5? Okay.
6, yeah, when it came out down there in Peru, yeah. Yeah, I was a fan of. What about you all? What's your favorite Star Wars? Please say X-Men: The Last Stand. You can just get a double band. Double band.
First of all, I want all you Star Wars wankers to shut up.
Why is a Star Wars wanker?
Because we used to have to wait 3 years for those frickin' things, and now they're just on TV, and there's movies and cartoons and Skeleton Crew. You're getting all kinds of Star Wars stuff shoved at you. Shut the hell up and enjoy it. God bless America. What's wrong with you? You're spoiled, entitled brats, and the right answer is Empire Strikes Back. Thank you.
How about outside of the original trilogy, Jess?
No. Anything. Yours is Empire too, Johnny?
If that's included. Yeah.
All the movies. Yeah. What about you, Peter?
Andor.
Best Star Wars thing. I just such a good series.
Absolutely.
It is such a good series.
Totally, it fundamentally moved me. It needs the original trilogy and to a degree Rogue One to hit. But I don't think the writing or production quality has ever been as high in the Star Wars universe as it was on Andor.
I didn't even like Rogue One, but no, I didn't. I went to the theater to go see it, and I was like,
it felt smashed to bits in the editing process. It felt like there was some other idea that just
there was another character there. What's her name? The main character, Felicia, whatever the actress name. What was her name, Peter? Or
was her name Jin?
Maybe I can't.
I thought it was. I can't remember.
I thought that there was another movie in there, and for some reason in the editing floor, it just got cut. But I did want to go and rewatch it because I loved Andor season 1 so much that I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch Rogue One again. And I enjoyed it more. Felicity Jones. Thank you. And it was Jyn Erso.
Jyn Erso.
That is a solid answer, Crisis. That's a good show. That was a good show. I really liked it. What about you, Curtis? Ewoks cartoon.
Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh man. Okay, so I'm gonna. I don't know if it's a cop-out answer, but the OG Star Wars is the best, and I can rewatch that one over and over again and never get tired of it. In fact, I have watched it over and over again and not gotten tired of it. It's just such a great movie.
So when you're saying OG Star Wars, you're talking about A New Hope, but before it was even called A New Hope.
That's right.
He means the first
That's
one.
Right.
The
and I still have the I have the DVD that has the non-special edition on it, and so I will watch that one like it's going back that far.
Yeah, there have been there's been these projects of restoring this stuff into they did Blu-rays, and now they're working on 4K versions of the non-special editions, like taking frame by frame. Yeah,
despecialized. They're great.
They're awesome, man.
Yeah, they're just so.
Hey, Maddie, how are you?
Hey, Maddie, I was just texting with her.
Don't you diss the singing styles of B. Arthur. Oh, that's right. The holiday special.
You know what I will like though? I actually really do like in the holiday special the Boba Fett cartoon that's in there. It's just a really neat piece of animation. Very stylized, very different, very influenced by like Mobius, and done by Canadian animation studio. So I always think I like that part of it.
No, but I'm glad you like it. I did not like that animation style.
That was
Star Wars movies, Return of the Jedi. My favorite show is the Clone Wars.
That was the Christmas when Bing Crosby had David Bowie on too.
Yes, little
Christmas was 77. It was. I came back from Christmas break in college, and that's all anybody was talking about was the Star Wars Christmas special and Bing Crosby and David Bowie. Our minds were blown.
Yeah.
The laser disc is what these folks are using as the master for doing the upscale to Blu-ray. Now they're working on 4K versions. I don't think they're done with Empire yet, or at least the last I saw, they weren't done with Empire. But they're beautiful, and because Laserdisc was the very last time the specialized edition was released.
And you're talking about the 4K. They're not done with Empire yet.
Yeah, and I think they're only done with one of them. Because the files are just huge. I mean, if you think about like taking frame by frame and upscaling them, and it's insane what they're doing.
So, are there physical media? Is there like physical releases of those? I know it's like an independent group doing it, but I would love to. Like,
there are. Not legally, but
yeah. Well, I'm assuming not. It's
well, like Lucas Farm gets a cut out of that. I've always had internet. Oh, somebody asking about your internet? It just turns off when I join the stream. Batman Year 2 is better than Empire Strikes Back. My man, DV, thank you for that. You want to see people's blood pressure live. Spaceballs.
That is a great movie.
That's a good movie.
Oh, yep, Warren, what is
Spaceballs? Sucks.
What? Warren, what is wrong with you?
Oh, the Schwartz is not with him.
Christmas dinners with your family, and you're like, man, this turkey sucks, Mom. And so did you. And so did my childhood.
Fun sucks.
Never understood it.
I don't like fun.
You were probably born without a heart. Ewoks Battle for Endor is my favorite Star Wars thing. I love that. There's a special place in my heart for those movies. The Battle for Endor and the Caravan of Courage? Is that what it was called? Caravan of Courage? The other movie?
Caravan of Courage, yeah. There's two. Yeah, that's one of them.
Dude, they killed Ewoks in those movies. I was like, whoa. I really disagree with you, Warren, is the title of my book. Available through Amazon. I've never had dinner with my family. That doesn't surprise me
at all.
Like Wilford Brimley. Oh, that's right. Diabetes. He was in that movie.
Diabetes.
Episode 3 is my favorite because the Mustafar fight scene and Duel of Fate song. That score that John Williams did for the fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan and Mustafar. What is it called? It is freaking amazing. Like, it goes hard.
I think it's Duel of Fates. Isn't that what he's talking about?
No, Duel of Fates is episode 1. They do play Duel of Fate. It's like, oh my gosh, what is this? It's like, maybe it is called something lame like Obi-Wan versus Anakin. But man, it goes hard, especially in that scene. It's so good. It's right after when he screams, you were supposed to be the chosen one. Oh, dude, that's awesome. Thank you. Welcome to Earth. The Last Jedi is a mixed bag with some good and bad parts in it. Probably could have used another draft.
It is just called Anakin versus Obi-Wan, according to the.
It's an awesome it is freaking track, man. It's an awesome track. It's up there with for me with Duel of Fates.
What did you guys think of the Obi-Wan show? I liked it a real lot. I know it. I don't know. I've talked to people who didn't care for it at all. What did you guys think?
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it too.
There were some really good
of the better ones.
I'm glad that they scrapped the idea of having what's his name come back, Ray Park as
Darth Maul.
Because I mean, when they get not that I was a big fan of Hayden Christensen, but if you get the original actor back to come back and reprise the role, I would rather see an Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader type of thing. I liked a lot of that aspect of it. There were some things I didn't like the maybe the young Leia adventure side story that they had going on. That was a little too much for me. You know.
Yeah, I feel like it was like 45 minutes too long. There's a fan edit of it that I think I actually downloaded and I just never like sat down and watched. But I just felt like with some light editing and maybe like one less episode, it really could have crackled. And I never understood why people were like, it's so stupid. I'm like, it's got some really cool stuff.
Yeah, it does.
But it, pacing wise, I think it had some challenges.
There were a couple of moments that I was like, who like, that's ridiculous. Like with the fire, when he was, all you had to do was just walk around the fire to go get Obi-Wan. And I was like, this is kind of dumb. Like, who wrote this?
Oh, I read that as it being a traumatic thing for him based on their last confrontation in the lava.
I get it, but it was just like, it wasn't like the fire was like 8 feet tall. It was just like a little line of fire. This is Darth Vader. I understand. I hated it because
then he freaking ripped the spaceship out of the sky. So he kind of, he had his cool moments too.
Oh, he did have a Vader down moment. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
hated it because a cultural war thing. I was reminded of the RLM quote: "The political movie of the year, Ghostbusters." Guess this is where we're at. You're talking about Last Jedi. I can't remember. I'll be honest. I've only seen that movie twice, and I can't remember. I just remember not liking or agreeing with a lot of the choices that were made, and I think there were too many red herrings in the movie for me. I think a lot of people really like the red herrings, but for me, I think there were too many. And then the really bad CG in the casino scene. I remember that reminded me way too much of bad CG in the first 3 episodes.
What is this? Last Jedi we're talking about?
Yeah, Last Jedi.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Ghostbusters. We got lost.
See, I think if Rian Johnson could have gotten the whole trilogy, I would have dug what he was doing a lot more. I think, that's the right.
That's the right answer.
Well,
right
I think
there.
it became a sandwich, right? It almost looks like
exactly.
We made a mistake. Let's go back. So even when what's his name came back,
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, when he came back, it was like, I'm gonna fix everything that Rian Johnson did and shove it down your face. Like that's what I didn't like either. Like I'm like, oh come on, man. Like, the whole trilogy. But here's the thing that I always remind myself is, no matter how much I didn't like it, like that's always going to be some kid's first Star Wars movie. Like my daughter, that was her first Star Wars movie, was the Force Awakens. So she will always remember our trip to the movie theater as that was her first Star Wars. And to a lot of kids that are, a little bit older now, that's their first Star Wars movies. Let me get the super chat really quick.
Apparently the song is called Battle of the Heroes, is what I'm hearing from
Battle
the
of the
chat.
Heroes? Okay. Rest in peace. Thank you so much. Welcome to Earth. It's I promise you all make it so much easier by doing these live stream with my friends. Because it's not easy. It's been a bitch. And there are days that are really bad. Did you guys read the Duel of the Fates script? No, what was that? What is the Duel of the Fates?
So like more is it the script for the scene and there's like more information in it? That's what I'm
maybe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you guys take this for a second. I gotta return this call. Great. Peter, do you still have access to the chat? Like, can you click on questions and stuff?
Ooh, I don't think I'm still an administrator.
Okay.
No longer. Because I got nervous that I was like commenting as Dom. I was like talking in the chat and I was like, oh, is it even me? So I finally logged out and came back as myself. I didn't want to impersonate Dom of X. No one could ever.
That was my buddy Tina. Wow, it's already 4:42. The explanation of the Duel of the Fates is amazing. No, I've never read this. Crisis of X. This is a crossover between you and Dom of X.
Well, I've worked hard to get rid of that X association with Crisis. I'm not trying to go back.
It's a fusion. It's the OG Star Wars 9 script leaked online, I think. Oh, okay, like the original.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
The race, and Dom is quite honored. Peter is the better. God, Warren,
what? Warren, too far, Warren.
I knew it was. It is Peter. It's Peter's other account. No one.
So Warren, one of my favorite movies of all time is Empire Records. And for those of you who know Empire Records, it's one of those movies I can quote, diet pills, here's one for your perfect life. I could quote the whole thing. But Warren is the kid who like breaks into the store and tries to shoplift. And then he comes back later and he tries to hold them all hostage. And whenever we're yelling, Warren, it always makes me think of Empire Records. So that's my...
The kid that got in trouble. Okay.
Yeah,
I like that movie.
Deviant behavior. I love it.
I need to see that movie. I've heard great things about it.
Oh, just classic.
Oh, you would like it. Yeah, it's got Liv Tyler in it.
Renee Zellweger.
Oh, I always got Renee Zellweger confused with what's her name in Chasing Amy, because they look very similar. The lead in Chasing Amy, and she was also in Big Daddy.
I don't know her name, but I know her. Yeah.
Lori, Joey, Lori, somebody in the chat.
Lori Petty?
No, not Lori Petty. She looks like, back then they looked really similar. Renee, thank you. Joey, Lauren Adams.
Chat knows everything.
Dude, chat is on point. Where's James? James, you failed me for the last time. You were supposed to know this, James.
Well, I love how we finally had a brisk solicit stream.
We did.
And so then we added 35 minutes of Star Wars. People are going to be scrubbing through towards the end to like try to find where you recap the books, and you're going to be like, "What is the Last Jedi? Is there a Last Jedi adaptation?"
I'm so sorry I brought this movie up.
Come drink with me.
It was your fault, Omni Dog. You led us down this dark path.
Wow, I'm the Warren Weaver of YouTube.
Everybody thought we were going to be talking about that Krakoa omnibus for 30 minutes solid.
James, if I could force choke you. My hot take on the X-Men comics, I don't think we need a Hoxpox, Krakoa era X-Men in omnibus form. This Hickman era of X-Men is just not my cup of cocoa or espresso or whatever. But how do you feel about Star Wars Last Jedi? X-Men by Hickman, Kieran Gillen, Al Ewing, etc. can be trade paperbacks and some collections, not omnis. Come at me.
Come at me.
Some people are just ready to pick fights. See, Warren does it like every day. He wakes up going, what kind of dumb thing am I going to say today?
I like Warren because he shifts the Overton window of the hot takes on the show so far over that my takes sound sane when I say crazy stuff.
Warren wakes up and chooses violence.
Warren's going to be like an AI generated person too. Like he's like, let's take the worst thing the internet has to say and put like a weird spin on it. What is
it makes me sound real rational. I love it.
What's everyone's hot take? Okay, wait. I don't want to keep my wonderful host too long, although this is really fun and I can keep going and going.
I got nowhere to be, bro. I'm my own boss. Go as long as you want.
Oh, that's right. You gave yourself a Masterworks raise. That's what.
That's right. Yeah.
But I know, like my buddy Curtis has lots of meetings to attend. What's everyone's hot take in Marvel or DC? Like a hot take.
Hot take.
The MCU peaks and we'll never get back to what we remember no matter what they do. They can bring in X-Men, Fantastic Four. It will never be peak right before Infinity War came out. Everybody on the planet was talking about Marvel. Didn't matter if you were into it or not. I don't think it'll ever get there again.
Okay. Hot take. What about DC? You have a hot take for DC?
Gotta think on that one. Go to somebody else for Marvel. I gotta think on DC.
Marvel Trials of X contains most of the best X-Men for the past 10 years stories.
No, go more. 20, 30?
Stop it, Peter.
Yeah, back to 1963. Ever.
What?
Yeah, ever. Trials of X ever.
That is a hot take. Okay.
DC, I had a chance to read some DC comics today, and instead I watched the season finale of season 1 of Arcane instead. So, hot take, Arcane's more interesting than DC Comics.
Arcane got me hooked, man. I don't want to spoil what happens in any episode, but that show got me so beautiful. Beautiful.
Consequences in that show, man. Consequences. It's so good. Really good.
Okay. So you'd rather watch Arcane. That's not much of a hot take, though. I like that.
Sorry, it's all I could come up with.
No, that's pretty good. Warren is like laughing at us. These are hot takes. Hold my beer.
That's a soft take.
What about you, Peter? What's a hot take you got? Wait, you
always have hot takes. He's always
I think all X-Men characters that originated before 1983 should be permanently retired, and we shouldn't be able to see stories with them for another 20 or 30 years. I think they're useless. I'm done with Storm. I'm done with Jean Grey. I'm done with Cyclops. I'm done with Kitty. Just take them off the stage. It's over. We have enough stories. They've been definitive. Danny Moonstar should be the eldest X-Men. That's my hot Marvel take. I think it's so funny.
20
I think it's like,
years?
Oh. 20 or 30 years until I'm dead. Then they can do Cyclops.
Can Emma be her mentor?
No, because Emma was from before 1983. No, sorry. Off stage. Gone. I think it's so cute. This is my hot version of that. I think it's so cute when people are like, ooh, it's a story with Cyclops. I'm excited. No, he's over. It's done with. We have so many better X-Men characters than him now. Okay, so that's my Marvel hot take. Okay. My DC hot take is not, it's like a lukewarmish take. I think the future of DC, they already figured it out. In the last year, it's that they made every title a family title. There's a Batman family. There's a Green Arrow family. There's a Flash family. That's not only smart and not only diversifies what they can do with the stories, but I think that's what readers who are coming from things like webtoons and manga want from DC. And I think that the fact that they doubled down on this absolute stuff to like, I think it's cute, but I think they already had the answer for what the future is. I think it's the family-oriented stuff won't be the flash in the pan that Absolute will turn out to be, because DC only does flashes in the pan. That's their whole Flashpoint, right? That's their whole style. They do things for 3 years and then fail. That's all they know how to do, and they have the future in their hands. Luckily, they're still doing it, and they haven't given up on it. But that's how to keep their IP alive, not Absolute.
Okay, Peter. That was a pretty low key hot take
for me.
I really thought you were gonna go harder than that. Okay,
what's harder than I don't want any more stories with Cyclops?
You played it safe and said 1983. You should have said 2003 or something. Even
I could say 1991. Let's say Gen X is the oldest. No,
Gen X.
I think the New Mutants. It's time for the New Mutants to be the X-Men, right? The Titans, Teen Titans, got to be Titans, and effectively the JLA. Like, we need all the other X-Men to die so that we can have the New Mutants finally be X-Men.
He's bringing death into it. He can't get a hotter cake than that. He wants some death.
I didn't know you meant death. Wow, dude.
Yeah, he's killing him.
I'm going to spoil what happens in that X-Men Rise and Fall omnibus, but I think there's another way it could have ended.
Okay. Curtis, my friend. Hot take.
My hot take is that Marvel should stop publishing single issues and only do brand new graphic novel size books.
You're a monster, but go on.
I think it'll improve the quality of the writing.
I think that's the hottest take I've ever heard.
I actually love that idea.
Okay, goodbye comic book stores. Goodbye dime breed collectors. Sorry. 3 out of 5 people in this panel hate you and what you do for a living. Go on,
there is still plenty to sell in the world. I don't think you'll be going out of business anytime soon.
I also don't sell I don't sell modern single issues either, so this really doesn't affect me at all.
Poor Sentinel Comics, who just opened up a new location. Get out of business. All the single issues are gone. Go on, Curtis.
Oh, I just think that if they since they're writing to trade anyway, like 6-issue story arcs, rather than writing 22-page installments where there's a cliffhanger each time or whatever, then just give us a full 120-page graphic novel where the pacing can be a lot better, then you can also give it a little bit more breathing time, so you can have one artist or one art team on the book rather than having to trade off issues in order to meet deadlines, monthly deadlines or whatever. I think you just get more consistency in general.
Okay, that I think out of all of us so far, that is the hottest take.
Or keep some marquee series as single issue series, but then like move a lot of these supporting series that like struggle to sell through issue 4, just move them all to being like 120 issue OGNs that you can just sell instead of like having. Like, yeah, do single issues of Spider-Man, but like, you know, like Exceptional X-Men, that could have just been a graphic novel.
Peter, you already had your hot take.
I'm just agreeing. I'm supporting Curtis.
No, you were adding a little bit of rules there. It's not appreciated. Curtis is a grown man. He can hold his own.
What's your DC take, Curtis?
Oh yeah, Curtis.
We
say more single issues. More single issues.
DC should allow all of the to allow Marvel heroes be in their stories.
And Marvel should have Harley Quinn in every single story. I agree with that.
Oh God. Okay, that's an awful take. We don't need awful takes. We just needed hot takes, people.
How dare you? What?
Hot takes, man. This is fun. The hottest take I think I've ever had, that when I was like, when my friends and I were nothing but comics, like I said, I wish that X-Men was its own like universe outside of like the Avengers and outside of like the Fantastic Four, because I never liked the idea of like these crossovers, even though some of my favorite stories come from the crossovers or Storm hanging out with the Avengers, but I just really like the idea of the X-Men just being in their own like world, their own universe. And I remember my friends were like, dude, that is the stupidest thing ever. Wolverine first appeared in Hulk. How could he like? And I'm like, well, you just make him appear in an X-Men comic. That's it. And X-Men is his own thing. And honestly, at the time, they had enough titles to be their own universe. For DC, I think it's okay to, I actually agree a lot with Peter's take on Legacy. I think it's okay to let your Legacy characters carry these books. I think it was okay for Dick Grayson to one day become Batman, and then eventually Tim Drake or Damian, whatever. I think that would be really cool. They're never going to do it, right? Because Bruce Wayne will always be Batman at the end of the day. Superman's always going to be Kal-El, and Wonder Woman's always going to be Diana. No matter how many times they were like, we're killing them off. Like, it just... So, I mean, Marvel would do the same thing, too, having legacy characters. Although DC has been doing legacy characters a lot longer than Marvel has. But they were always afraid of doing that, and then, we got reboots, and in the end, nothing really mattered. So those are my two hot takes. Not as hot as the ones today.
Last Stand is still the greatest X-Men movie.
That is the worst take. The end of floppies. I agree. Bruce, no more comic book stores for you people. Okay, last question of the day.
Ooh.
Thoughts on Castlevania games and show? Oh, dude, I have lots of thoughts, but I don't know if my friends play Castlevania games or watch the show. Best Castlevania game is, most people would say,
Symphony of the Night.
And they would probably be right, but I will say Castlevania 3 is my all-time favorite. Absolutely love Castlevania 3. Ooh, so good.
I loved Symphony of the Night, and I loved the show. That show had such good writing and such great voice acting. I really loved that show.
Yeah, man. What was it? 3 seasons? And I think then they did something else after the whole Warren Ellis thing.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I didn't watch anything after the first 3 seasons, and they were
didn't either, because it ended perfectly.
Symphony of the Night was amazing. Like, I own every version: the PlayStation, the Sega Saturn Japanese version, like the PSP version, the PS4 version, the limited edition PS4 version. But my true Castlevania game that I love is 3. I think Castlevania 3 is perfection. Sci-fi. What was the thief's name? Dagger, was that his name? And Richter Belmont. Trevor Belmont was in that one. Yeah, and Alucard, which is Dracula spelled backwards. Mind blown. But yeah, did you all watch it? Did you, Curtis, Peter, Johnny? No? Do you guys like Castlevania movies or video games?
Never played them.
I mean, I think I played it back in the Nintendo days, and it just wasn't. He wasn't agile. He didn't jump high enough for me. I was like, I want a character that really jumps. I want like a Princess Peach and Mario 2 floats a little bit.
Right. Thank you.
So yeah, even though I love vampire nonsense, I don't really know a lot of Castlevania. I do like Vampire Survivors on Steam. That's Castlevania inspired.
And Bruce is suggesting putting out a 6-issue size oversized hardcover first for $34.99 and split them up into cheaply made floppies.
That's what TKO tried.
I was going to say TKO. had that.
Yeah.
And I don't know where the heck TKO is these days, honestly.
They just had a Black Friday sale. They're still
but I mean, as far as like new books, like they were releasing amazing books the first 2 years, and then silence. I don't know. But I just want to thank everybody so much for watching, for joining us, for hitting that like button. Check out cheapgraphicnovels.com. They're our official sponsor here in America. They just had a huge Black Friday sale. And thank you all. Thank you to Marvel for sending us advance notice of this. We need to pick an evergreen, and we need to pick a date because it is December and time is ticking. So I will talk to my friends really quick about that.
Evergreen Star Wars? Is that what we're doing?
That could work. That was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun talking to you all about Star Wars. I like the idea of what Peter said about Star Wars, anything that's in canon. You can't pick the first three or the original trilogy. That's a cool idea.
Might get violent. I don't know.
Oh, it's gonna get bad because and only. Are you saying only like 3 things could make it, or like?
I don't know. We'd have to workshop.
Only 6 more things can make it like the 9. That way, only 9 movies count, right? So only 6 things can be added to the 3 movies. That would be fun. And lot of fighting.
Are we talking books that are in canon too? Comic books?
Yes.
Okay.
If you've read it, I think you should bring it to the table, but you better be ready to.
Yeah, like what if your choices are like, I think it should be like Dr. Aphra, the Thrawn trilogy, and Andor, like that's kind of fun. Mixed media.
I like that one.
Or Jess is going to come that one. Like Acolyte and X-Men The Last Stand. And what's another crappy
Come drink with me.
I think Darth Jar Jar should be in continuity.
Spaceballs.
Darth Jar Jar, Spaceballs, and Holiday.
This was a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun. The Midnight Suns Omnibus.
Oh.
That would be cool.
I need to get that game.
Star Wars stream would have traffic. Fire Kathleen Kennedy. Oh my gosh. Is she still in charge of this? Do the animated series. Oh, if animated series counts, this is going to get violent. If only 6 things
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars is perfection. Like, it is so good. Oh, dude, and everybody's going to come in with their 3 favorites. I'm so glad Return of the Jedi is safe. I like that role, Peter. That's it, everybody. Yes, we will make an announcement about what the next evergreen is going to be and when it's going to be soon. So make sure you're follow us on our social media. Now, I'm going to let these wonderful people sign off and tell you where you can find them.
You can find me over at Dying Breed Collectors on the Instagram, on the eBays, on the websites, at the shows, wherever comic books are found.
All right. And you will be at C2E2. Physically.
I'll meet Omar, and then you could buy stuff from me. You could buy Jess's books from me as you're meeting Omar.
I'll sign them for $3 each.
Yeah, and wait, I'm going to throw this out real quick. Curtis and Peter, that invitation is also extended to you. I can get you guys badges if you ever do want to come to Chicago. I know it's less realistic for you guys, but
I want to work your booth. You know how much fun I would have just being.
I never even thought of that. That would be wild. Oh my god.
Oh, wow. We could take turns hosting behind the booth.
Yeah,
this book is great. This one sucks. Peter hates this book.
Right.
But Omnidog, where can people find you, buddy?
On YouTube, Omnidog's Vault, and then I'm also on Blue Sky. I have a Discord, Instagram. And that's it. I have thoughts on comics on those, and thank you for having me, Omar. This was a blast.
Oh, I had a lot of fun. Thank you all for being here. Peter, what about you? A man of so many hot takes.
Well, not my hot takes, but my extensive knowledge to how to collect and read these characters is all on crushingcrisis.com. That's Crisis with a K, where I have guides to over 150 Marvel characters, teams, and titles. They're all freshly updated all the way to the end of 2024. I just got through that multi-month products, and now I can start doing some new stuff again. You can also find me doing my comics hot takes at Crushing Comics on Twitter and Blue Sky, and just being myself at Crisis on Blue Sky. If you want to hear about my morning swimming routine and my hot takes on New Zealand politics.
And your hair.
Has politics. Curtis, where about you, buddy? Where can people find you, and where are we going to be next Thursday?
You can find me at Epic Marvel Podcast related social medias, as well as a Facebook group for both Epic Collections and DC Finest. Just search up those terms on Facebook and you'll find them. And yes, Omar and I will be on this channel next Thursday, December 12 at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. I have to make sure I got the time zone right there, because we will be doing some Epic Collection reveals. What is coming out in the world of Epic Collections in August and September 2025? You'll find out next week.
Yeah. And I am the Uncanny Omar, and thank you again to my wonderful co-hosts that joined me. Tina just walked in here. We're going to film some TikToks, and she is wiping my shelves. That's the only time these shelves get clean, is when she comes down here. You're not my maid. I'm sure there's a service for that. She was telling me about this cosplay service where women would dress up in cosplay, and it was like a maid service.
That doesn't exist.
Yes, it does. It does in Louisville, Kentucky, because I looked it up for research.
Can I get that number?
Research purposes, I had to look it up, and I was like,
yeah, I need some dusting done.
Jess. I really need dusting done. That's why Tina came down here. So thank you all so much for watching. I am out of here. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy the rest of the week. I'm back on Saturday for the live stream, and stay healthy and safe out there.
Peace and love.
Much love.